seen you give us a warning.
I'm constantly tweaking the setup, guys. I think you should know
he's
that.
getting
As
more
a producer,
professional every week.
yeah,
Mm.
I gotta
Soon,
keep things.
soon you could just like you could just try cast for Sifted and just do it through Discord.
He'd love to do that. He'd just never be allowed to do that.
and just get 1080p out of it.
Thanks, Jay.
The YouTube videos do look better.
Thank you. Burkhoff started Zoom meeting in Slack.
Wait, does he start the Zoom meetings in Slack? I don't think
No,
he does.
like the opening,
Oh,
the opening for the
Easy
ECA,
Allies.
like
Yeah.
and Ian Hink, who started the Zoom meeting in Slack.
I'm assuming that's a sponsorship.
That'd be nice. We should get Zoom to sponsor us.
No, it's Slack.
Oh no, he's not a
We are
sponsorship.
officially live, guys. So
Oh,
just throwing that out there.
good morning.
So that doesn't normally let us stop talking over people.
Yeah,
No,
why?
it doesn't.
Yeah. Finish your thought, Mike.
Yeah.
Oh no, it's not a sponsorship. Slack is just how they use to communicate all their different stuff within the allies for work, for just normal communications and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I use it all the time for a couple of D&D groups that I have, and other things, and it's basically a private. Basically, before Discord was a thing, Slack was amazing for having specific groups and stuff like that. Being able to keep track of all the things, have different channels, and be able to just also keep like records and stuff like that. Because Slack actually has really awesome integration for different utilities and different other programs. So you can link and import and export all sorts of different like Excel files. So it's actually a good work platform if you actually need to accomplish projects. Whereas Discord is good if you don't really have projects going on, but you still want to communicate. So
Yeah, I
Well,
just
now
assumed that they're sponsored because they just say in Slack. They didn't have to say that.
Now that sales pitch.
it's because Slack can have Zoom integration. You can just build it right into
That's cool.
a project and other things like that.
I think that's how it Kind of Funny does their viewings whenever they watch like a reaction or something like that.
Gotcha.
They'll put it in Slack. I think they use Slack as well.
Right
I'm
now-
sorry. I'm sorry, Keith. You wanted to say something?
Yeah, fuck you
Burkoff,
guys.
start talking.
Evan just leaves. He's just gone.
I'm fine. Sorry, I had to grab one more thing.
Evan was going to practice. He was going to get his acting face on,
Yeah,
getting the
Wait,
moment.
he's not in costume. He has to go change.
this is my costume.
That's costume enough.
He's wearing a sweater from the 60s. Prison costume.
What the hell is going on?
For anyone who's listening to the podcast, thank you very much for listening. Using any of the pod catching catchers, are there people specially employed and trained as catchers of pods, and then they put the pods in
I think
places
those are.
that people
I think
listen
those
to?
are. I think those are reviewers, and then they tell you to go listen to them.
Well,
So,
I'm,
like, if
so far,
you're
I think
one of
I'm the only
those
person who's
Yelpers.
reviewed Yelpers. I think I'm the only person who's reviewed us, and I gave us 5 stars. So I gave
I
me
review us
4.5,
every week.
and the rest of you probably about half a star.
Podcatchers were those people who went after wayward groups of peas.
Oh, jeez.
Yes, we are Pixel Points. We are a group of people from around the world who talk about things that we enjoy, which is good beer and video games. We're not here to promote drinking. Please drink responsibly. Any beers or breweries might be talking about aren't sponsoring us. Maybe we could do a intro style sales pitch like we just had for Slack chat, and then maybe some people might actually. Yeah, that's Slack. That's what it was used to be called, Slack chat, wasn't it? Who cares? Anyway, moving on.
And think we're legit, and then they listen to us.
Yeah,
more.
exactly. And then they'll give us money, and we'll be like millionaires. Sort of. Just retweet Matt's tweet on the tweet. We'll quickly go around the room and finish with the new guest for this show, but a returning guest from the previous show. So, starting with Matt, how are things in Vegas?
Pretty good. It's getting down into the 20s. And
Why do you always just do a fucking weather update?
I figured people want to know what it's like here in Vegas in terms of the weather.
Also, Mick Womble, in America, usually when you talk to your family members, they usually go, "Hi, how are you? How's the weather?"
Yeah, it's a weird American thing that we do, I guess.
I was going to ask Matt if, with the success of the Las Vegas Raiders, whether or not he's going to start supporting the sequins and black.
No.
What?
Okay.
I'm not a football fan at all.
Doesn't matter. You can just still say I'm going for it because they fucking beat the Chiefs at their own home.
Yeah,
That's impressive. That's something to cheer for.
Doesn't matter to me.
Oh, you're not gonna.
Okay.
I'll
Matt
take your
hates
ticket.
Football. I think that's what makes sense.
Well,
And that's why Matt will never get elected president.
Football's a requirement.
If you have to like sports, you have to have engaged in some kind of dodgy behaviour. We don't do politics. I'll stop there. Mitch, how's things with you?
Things are good. Start work on Monday. So I'm
cool.
excited.
So
Nice.
You've
Finally.
done your training, or is that your training?
No,
started?
that is training. They pushed it back
Oh,
1
cool.
week. So finally I get to start legitimately doing something with my time.
Nice. Well, do you feel?
so-
What are you doing? If you wouldn't mind sharing.
Oh yeah, that's fine. So I used before I moved out to LA, I managed a nonprofit program working with kids and adults with disabilities.
Oh, nice.
So this work I'm doing is a behavioral therapist position. So I'll be working with kids and adults with autism that have behavioral issues regarding if they're physical, social, in that aspects, and then work on correcting the behavior or changing it or managing it so that it's not as detrimental to their health. So
Nice. My wife did a little bit of stuff that when she was working as a TSA, while she was doing stuff for her undergrad and her master's in family counseling. So she has a little bit of experience in that.
Kiska said
sure.
TSA.
Yeah, what does that mean?
Oh, sorry. I think it stands for Teaching Service Agent.
assistant.
Thank you.
Assistant. I thought so. It's our TAs in the UK, teaching assistants.
Well,
I know what it
do
does,
have
but,
TAs
yeah.
and they do have TSAs. There's like
Oh,
five
okay.
different ways of saying the same thing. It just depends on like
Okay.
what program you're coming from, because there's certain there's certain limitations based off which position it is that you can do.
And that's not the only French that I know. I do know some advanced French swearing from playing Call of Duty multiplayer.
Sacre bleu.
Dan,
Yeah, I think Mikey's got that down a lot better than Mitch. I've been okay. I've just had a negative COVID test. I haven't been at work for 3 days. This is the first day I've been actually out of bed, really. Feeling good, just the flu. That was all. But I had a cough, temperature, so you got to follow the protocols.
Yeah, the
Understood.
NFL
Yeah.
COVID-19, the fake test.
But all I
you just
But
didn't want to
all
get out
I,
and go to school.
no.
Fancy having a few days off before half term.
and then on maternity leave.
But anyway, no, it was quite annoying actually. I've checked my emails this morning just to see, and I've got a lot of crap to do tomorrow to kind of get back into a place.
Students
you know,
were so naughty while you were gone. That's not good.
It's mainly just my sixth formers bombarding me with emails because they know I'm going off paternity leave. So they're just trying to and they're like, "You're not here," raging at me via email. But it's fine. I'll sort it out. And
Were you disappointed that you couldn't get access to the same experimental medical treatment that Donald Trump got? Is that why you were upset that you didn't?
Not
have COVID?
particularly. Not particularly. I don't really. I'm not into it. I'd rather be doing the experiments on people as a scientist than taking part in the experiment, being a guinea pig, if that makes sense. So I'm good, thanks. But yeah, no, all in all, Lincoln's only tier 1, so we're doing all right up here. Not as many restrictions as other parts of the country, but
Cases are rising quite quickly where we are, so that's why I'm here and not seeing my family, who I've not seen for nearly a year.
Wow.
Fucking people.
It's gonna be maybe like a year and a half before I physically see my family again.
Sorry to hear that, Steve.
which is really crazy. It's just insane to think about.
Good for you guys. By the time I see my family, it'll be up to 3 years.
Yeah, but you live 3,000 miles away.
On the
This is
positive
true.
note,
Not 3 hours.
On a positive note,
I'm
my mate who
1,000
got the
miles
job,
away, so
my mate who got the job in Japan, has finally got his visa approved on Tuesday, and his flight is booked for Saturday. So he's finally making it out there. And he's been working, so he's been working remotely since July.
Nice.
So he's been living like a Japanese day since July in the UK.
Oh, see, I thought you were talking about Evan, and I was like, Evan married into Japan, so he's good. He's good for life.
Yeah.
He said actually if he left, he wouldn't be good. So there we go.
Right. Okay. There's a lot of us, and we've got stuff to get through. So let's try and keep this on track, people. Dave, how are things in Somerset?
It looks like it's about to rain, and COVID hasn't really flared up here. So, compared to you guys, great, I guess.
I love how his microphone is so unique compared to all of ours. The sound is just so game chat style.
To be fair, it is a cheap ass.
No, it's not bad. It's not bad.
But it has a really nostalgic tone to it.
Hang on, I've got the expensive set that work gave me. I can probably try that. Although I'm
no. We like it. We like it. No, it's not. It's not making fun of you to be mad. It's making fun of you to be awesome. That's cool.
I'm not just self-conscious about this now.
No.
Ignore Mitch.
It sounds
like
fun, dude.
just ignore it.
It's like good. It's good.
Be self-conscious.
It's the early equivalent. It's the early aughts equivalent of like.
Great. So I sound like Swedish Chef, is what you're saying.
You sound like you're coming from the what is it? You sound like NASA, like about to ready to launch, being like
that works. NASA's fine. Cool. I'm sold.
It's just every time you finish a sentence, you've got to go. Beep.
Or Roger or over.
Right, enough of this. Evan, how are things in the 1960s?
Oh man, they're great. Finished up the autumn vacation, which is about 5 days and 2 months until winter vacation, and then another 2 months till spring vacation, and then another 2 months till 2 months off. So that's pretty much how I live my life in the 1960s, where I live currently. I'm fine.
Let's do this now, because I think Mitch has got a bit of a surprise for Mike, so we'll leave Mike's introduction for a moment. And Evan, I believe that you've got something happened when I was watching the PlayStation 5 UI announcement, and I actually got a bit concerned for your health and well-being. But would you like to articulate what it was that I sent you?
Well, so you guys, I've actually been a YouTuber influencer for several years now. You just don't recognize me without the you see, like where did he go? Where is he? I actually got a PlayStation 5 in the mail, and
I love how
it
he
looks
wrote
really similar to the PlayStation 4 Pro. Now, I had to pour a bit of concrete. I tried to set it next to my TV, and that thing almost flipped like a seesaw. So it's actually right here. I can't show it. The preview video is already posted and timed for next week. But got the new PlayStation control. That was a red herring, by the way. It's actually black. It looks very much like the Amazon Luma control. And I'm going to give you guys a little preview off screen of the UI here. So I'm checking out an early build of Final Fantasy 16, and gonna check out these cards, as they call it. Me being the trophy chaser of the group. So I'll give you a preview of the Final Fantasy 16 trophies. So looking at my cards now, and let's see. Okay. Objective: Captain of the Guard. Recruit all the King's Guard. Fully level up all the King's Guard. They have an estimated time to completion, 19 hours. Oh, I can do that. All right, let's see. Okay, Friend of the Court, estimated time to completion, 15 minutes. Easy enough. I'm already halfway through this game. I feel good. I'll platinum 16. I platinum 15. Easy peasy. Pumpkin spice squeezy. I'm sorry, I just lost a couple followers. Pet all the cats in the courtroom. Fuck this shit. sick of this shit. All these fucking cats. I'm done.
Spider cat does whatever a spider cat.
Was all of that scripted, Keith?
Yeah, that
Yes.
was all scripted.
That's great.
So Evan
Alright,
is
that's-
pretty.
that's
Oh,
out of the way.
I was gonna say, Burkoff, you can kick Evan off the show now. He's done his job.
Yeah.
So thanks for coming on to Pixel Pints, Mr. Mikey Novak, also known as Mixit or Mike's Q, as some people might call you. How are things? Because are you still in Pennsylvania, or was
Yes.
your move out of Pennsylvania?
My move was only about 20 minutes away from where I previously lived. There are basically 3 points of heavy population in Pennsylvania. There's Philadelphia, and then there's Philadelphia on the east, Pittsburgh on the west, and then Harrisburg, the capital's in the middle. I live almost like dead center. I had originally lived almost dead center between Philadelphia and Harrisburg, and my wife's family is from Harrisburg, so we just moved a little bit closer there to a little place called Mount Joy. But yeah, I family. I mean, the bank owns most of it right now, but I own a portion of my own house for the first time, so that's been quite a trip. And but the ironic and super humbling thing was that on the very day of moving, after we'd packed everything in the truck, someone said, go ratchet strap the last part down. I'm like, it's not going to move. And they're like, you should do it. I'm like, fine. I get up there, jump in the truck, and I'm putting the straps in, and either the hook or one of the other straps gives way, and I fall out the back of a box truck and break my arm.
That's
And
fun.
so, so I had never broken a bone in my life. And on the day of my move, an hour from when I actually had to sign for the house, I broke my arm. So I'm sitting there 15 minutes late for my signing, getting x-rays of my arm. And they're like, we can either put it in a sling or a splint in a sling. And I'm like, just the sling, because splint will take 20 minutes longer and I'm already late. I'd actually like to buy this thing. So,
Wow.
but so things have been getting together much slower. It's almost healed, but I have lost a lot of strength in it. And it's just been a lot slower getting everything moved in, but I'm super stoked to be moving in and going to be building a entertainment center over there with a bunch of old boards and stuff like that. And I'm really, really excited. So,
Right.
How did
Before
it affect your
Mitch,
gaming?
what?
I just wanted to. How did it affect your gaming? Breaking.
I actually, it put me off PC gaming for about 2 weeks at least, because just having my hand up there on the desk, like it was hurt because I broke basically below the elbow. So it actually forced me to finish up some console games that I had been neglecting.
Good man.
But that's pretty much all good now. But yeah, it did affect my gaming.
so you've pretty much answered the question that I was going to ask you before Mitch surprises you, which was, so in terms of next gen consoles, are you going to be interested in the to scale model of the USS Nimitz, also known as the PlayStation 5, the world's most powerful console in the Xbox Series X, or are you in the transcendental state where thought, word, and deed are all simultaneous and part of the PC master race?
It would have been the latter, except I cannot possibly live without that Demon's Souls remake. And so I am getting myself a PS5, and I actually am also getting myself a new TV because I have a Vizio from like 2003 or 2008 or something like that. It was like one of the top of the line 1080p Vizios from like over a decade ago. And so I'm finally getting myself a new TV, but I will be getting a PS5 but still probably play most of my stuff on PC, which is why I got the Sony 900H, because I can actually run Steam Link, the software, directly off of the TV. And so I'll be running a hardwire over to it so I can play all my PC
Oh,
games.
so
that I
you got
want.
the TV?
Costco's delivering it next week.
Does
Oh,
it,
cool.
does
I
it
was
have
gonna
an Android-based operating system in it?
Yes.
Oh, all right. Interesting.
I would have said get OLED, bro. OLED is the way to go.
Means you'll be able to play
It
Game
is.
Pass too.
It absolutely is.
So you can play Game Pass for it as well, I assume, if you've got an Android
Yeah.
OS.
OLED is the way to go, but since I just had to drop $45,000 on the down payment on a house,
On the basement with the blinds.
I have nothing else left. I have nothing else left. I'm like, well, I had retirement money, but now I have a house. Now I have a house
And a nice TV.
Maybe. Yeah, it's not here yet. So
Right, Mitch, would you like to go with your Celsius degrees?
also, it's 9 degrees in Mountjoy right now.
Oh yeah, I was gonna
That
say
9 degrees F or 9 degrees C.
C.
One of them's
C.
terrible.
C.
Oh, see? Oh,
Yeah,
see?
see,
Nine
only the
is
nice
like what,
people,
12
only the
or
nice people come
13
on
degrees
and tell us
Celsius?
the real temperature. Thank you very much, Max Q.
Yeah.
You're always welcome.
Cheers.
Matt
Nice.
also gives us the temperature at the right
So-
degrees as well.
So-
Again, you're much appreciated.
Short thing about weather really quick. This is the first time. So I had so many videos sent to me of, okay, ESPN, don't tell me about fantasy football right now. This is the first year there was snow. I was not there for the first drop of snow.
Oh, yeah.
I don't miss snow. I was looking at it and laughing at everybody because I'm like, it's only October. Have fun with it. But I was just like, ooh, interesting.
Yeah, when I used to live in New York, usually Halloween was like the first time it would actually stick.
Yeah, it stuck today. It stuck yesterday, so it was still there.
Yeah, my
Hello and
friend.
welcome to Pixel Pints, where we talk about beer and the weather.
I'm
I'm sorry. Hold on. Let me get. So it's going to be 25 degrees today, and you can see on my right hand
We got a low pressure system coming through.
coming through. It's
Hey,
all
you
good.
hack
Fucking
it.
low
It
pressure system.
It's a
just says quiz time. That's not even a map.
It's a cold breeze of McWomble streaming through.
Why
just
has
going to
Mitch
give
got a
us
quiz
a good.
sign behind him? I'm
It's gonna mix together at some high altitude, but it'll push off to the east and hit Altoona. So
I feel like this is blasphemy with Mitch getting the quiz sign for him. The
so-
quiz master's over there.
So
But this is the unofficial quiz.
it's not even a quiz. It's because I gave up a little bit, but I
Just
have
quiz
one
Meister,
but I've-
Meister, not
but
Master.
But I have one. I do have one question for. I was gonna do a quiz on voiceover people because I thought that would be clever because of Mike's Q. It does voiceover for Sifted.net, but then I was looking up the information and I was like, I don't know if he'll know any of this.
To be honest, I know more in the like TV and other space than I do like aside from like Nolan North, like those big guys. And actually, what's funny is when because I grew up. I don't know if anyone else grew up with a Christian background, but Focused on the Family does this children's show, Adventures in Odyssey. And I had listened to it growing up, and then I popped back in just to check up on it. And I was like, wait a second, I recognize that voice. That can't be. And I looked it up, and one of the voices on it is Amanda Troop, Brandon's wife.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's like, oh, okay. So I recognize a lot more stuff from TV and audio than I do video, but I'll give it whatever you have a try. So
Well, I only have one question because I gave
Okay.
up on the quiz. So
Okay.
and Keith is very mad about that. You can tell in his
A
face.
one-
He's like,
I
wasted
one
all-
quiz.
I wasted all this time for one question of a quiz. There is only one man who has crossed the barriers of gender in real time and has masterfully done it with a broom. Who is that?
Robin Williams.
That's a good guess, I guess.
You are
Yeah,
correct.
Robin Williams, yeah.
I've actually
Was I correct?
Yeah,
Was
that's
I
correct.
Oh,
Yeah.
I
Oh,
was
nice. Good job.
I will say one of my favorite scenes in Mrs. Doubtfire is the very beginning when he does the voiceover for 2-3 characters at the same
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so impressive.
Yeah.
I've got a follow-up question that's video game related.
Okay.
Are you familiar with Joe DiMaggio's work?
Yes.
Can you name the character that he did in the early 2000s for Final Fantasy X?
Oh, for Final Fantasy X, that I cannot because I didn't play 8 through 15.
Oh, all right, okay.
So,
I stopped playing at 7.
so I'm gonna guess Bender.
So you played 7 years ago.
15.
What?
You haven't played 15?
No.
Why would he waste his time in that game?
Evan, we need to capture him. We need to make him play it.
I was not a big fan. I was not a big fan of NSYNC.
It's not in sync. It's the Backstreet Boys. They lasted longer.
Okay, fine. 98 Degrees or One Direction, whichever you want.
No. Because the band is still together compared to so it's the Backstreet Boys because the Backstreet Boys are still on tour. 98 Degrees is not even touching tour. I do. Yeah. I care.
Well, it's because now 98 Degrees is now One Direction, which is still also not around. But
before we move on, Keith, how are you?
Oh, thanks, Dan.
Does he get his points back?
No.
I'm still considering that.
So Burkhoff, who did he voice? I'm
Waka.
curious, actually.
Waka.
Okay.
Yeah.
I would have guessed.
Like just from
awesome.
From watching a whole bunch of stuff, there's a lot of characters I know, but I never played the games myself.
Did you see
ironic answer, I was just gonna guess Bender. Like he played Bender in Final Fantasy X. So
Dan, did you see what happened there? You asked me how I was. I didn't actually answer, and everyone else fucking carried on anyway.
I know, well, there we go.
We all knew it was a suck-up method. It wasn't really legitimate.
No,
it would be because I think
that Keith has made a good point that every week no one ever asked him. So since that point, we all made sure that we at least ask him how he is.
You wait till after the show to ask him, not the beginning of the show.
How I am is wanting to move the fuck on.
Fair enough.
Right, so beers. I'm going to need to turn my background off. Virtual background, none. Thank you very much. I have a nuisance.
A nice can.
That's awesome.
It's an awesome can.
Looks like Guardians of the Galaxy style.
I love that design.
I got this from the it's called Personal Space Invader, which I thought was quite funny. This I got from the same place. I spent £34.20 on craft beer 2 weeks ago, and I had to just go by kind of labels and names because there's a big sign when you walked into the shop saying "Please do not handle the goods." So, because they were being very careful about COVID. It is a hazy IPA, and
nice.
Yeah, you're not going to see through that. It's quite strong. It's 6.5%, and I would describe this beer as dangerous.
Ooh.
Oh, is it too
That's
easy
good.
to drink?
Good and bad.
Nice and
That's good. That's good.
like
That's
citrusy.
Good.
It's citrusy with a kind of sharp, clean finish on the palate. You do get
nice.
You don't get hardly any bitterness, but you do get a really kind of good hint of herbs, thyme mainly, and you really nice hoppy flavour. This is seriously dangerous because at 6.5% you could easily have 3 or 4 pints of that and think, yeah, I'm absolutely fine. And then the 6.5% kicks in,
and then you stand up.
Yeah.
I'm really enjoying that. I actually really like Nuisance beers. I've tried this is the third one that I've tried. They have really cool can art.
Yeah.
And they do really good beers. So
Is
if
that
you
a
can,
330 ml or is that a
this is
440?
440.
Oh,
So
nice.
just under a pint.
£3, 350?
Oh no, this was quite expensive. This was
Was it?
I think it was £4.90.
That's why you're not going to drink 4 pints of it.
There you go.
Always interesting.
Well, the most expensive beer that I bought, I've got a few stacked up for Halloween. There's going to be a special Halloween episode. I've got 4 beers that I'm saving just for that episode because they're all kind of Halloween themed beers. The most
Basically,
expensive
the scary
beer
part is Keith is going to get drunk on the show. That's the scary part.
that is the scary part.
I think
And
the
then we'll
scary
get
part is
kicked
he's
off
going to show
Twitch.
us the receipt.
The most
You spent
expensive
how
one that-
much?
No, the wife in the background is going to go, Keith!
Well, she helped me pick some of them, so that was quite funny. So £34.20, and I think I got 7 cans of beer.
Yeah, online at a beer merchant's website, it's $5.95.
You got a good deal.
Well,
You got a good deal.
That had Muson's one. The most expensive one that I bought was
Yeah.
£6.90.
Wow.
But I think they get quite a lot of them imported, so you're paying extra
import.
because they're getting imported beers.
You're also paying the Rona tax.
Yeah. I like how it's called
right.
personal space invader in the year of COVID. It's
Yeah.
or
Yes,
you
you're
have
not
a
gonna get
couple and
many
you
of
walk
those.
up to someone, hey, how you doing?
What's
No,
that?
I turned into Arnold Schwarzenegger for a second there.
You know,
What was
Th-
that? What was that one
you
game you
saying
mocked
that-
me for being Space Invaders, but it wasn't? It was called something else.
Gallagher.
There we go.
Gallagher.
It's Galaga.
Never-
Seeing these absolute numpties in London last night on the news, offering out police officers because they got kicked out of a pub at 10 o'clock. Fucking morons. Anyway, we don't do politics on this show. Has anyone else got any beers they want to do?
I'm just drinking quite an easy Dunbar.
With the Doombar.
Dunbar Amber Ale. Very nice. 4.3%. Easy drinking. Slightly hoppy. Nice colour. As I said, going down a treat because I'm pretty much finished in the intro.
Well, the intros lasted for 35 minutes.
This
So
is true.
Well, that's
yes.
a good point. That's a good point. But yeah, no, very tasty. Roasted hops, roasted nut flavors. Very nice. Quite manageable. Easy on the palate. No lingering bitterness. Yeah, just quite easy to drink, really.
And I have a
Evan,
beer.
just to let you know,
Yeah.
I don't know if you were on last time I said to Matt, because Matt hasn't told me, your delivery has been told me it's been delivered, but as neither of you have told me it's arrived, it must have been lost.
I think the U.S. Customs agents have
So
probably,
Drank
have
it
probably
and
imbibed
pitched it in the
whatever you
river.
said.
So some people are having a great time with 24 beers somewhere.
No, they
no,
drank
they're
it
not.
and then they pitched it in the river with supposedly Donald Trump's mail-in ballots.
So I just
No
thought I'd let
I was
you know.
going to say they could at least give you the courtesy of sending you the empties, so you
Right.
recycle them.
Yeah, like, or maybe I
With
want
some
the bottle
tasting
cap.
notes.
Yeah, exactly. So anyway,
Yeah, it's pretty
I
funny.
think
The
you
bottle,
yeah, Evan, so I just thought
inside
I'd
the
update
bottle is the tasty notes, like if you send it out to sea.
It's
Well,
like, find it in the
the tasting notes start out really well written, and then as you get to the end of
Well, and then
The
also
Monty
the
Python.
bottle. and
Wasn't
then-
it 24
that's what I
cans
said.
of the same beer? Surely by the end of it, it's just same as the last one.
No, it
Same as
was
the last
12.
No,
It
they're
was
different.
12. It was 12 different beers that I personally wrapped and gift sent, and they
Oh
got
man,
lost.
that
Gutting.
sucks.
Yeah.
Evan, you have a beer.
Yeah, we need to move on. So quickly, I just picked this up today. It's called Fuji Craft. Man, that's
Oh
fucking
yeah,
light.
stealing the
Really
the
bad.
artwork of that original wave, bro.
Yeah.
That's
How
awesome.
much
Sorry,
that cost? How much did that cost them?
Oh,
own a
it was
big
like,
wave lawsuit incoming.
yeah.
Yeah.
It was like $2.50, like 300 yen. It's not that much. The name of the company is Fuji Craft, I guess, and they use the running water under Mount Fuji for the beer. One problem with Japanese beers is a lot of them will not tell you what style the beer is. So much so that, like, if you go into a bar in Japan, usually one beer company has a contract with the restaurant, and so you just say a draft beer, please. You literally say draft beer, and they'll bring you the draft beer, which is either whatever the company. If it's Asahi, it's Asahi's main beer, and Kirin. But a lot of times, they just like don't really care about styles. Like on a lot of menus, you'll see it says black beer.
Yeah,
It just
That's
is.
interesting.
I'm just like,
that was my experience when I was there, because I was like, oh, I'll try some Japanese craft. It was so hard to find.
Yeah.
Like if you like don't have someone who knows and cares. I was like, I basically could only find a lot of the same brands I could get in the United States, but a couple of different versions that wouldn't normally make it over to the United States. And so
it's. When did you come?
That was like 6 years ago, 7 years ago, something like that.
Craft, since I would say from about 6 years ago, slowly craft beer has been getting popular. But like you said, like you could be sitting in the city and like, I don't know what bar is the good one type of thing, right? So you could just go in and just keep getting Pilsner lagers all day and get sick of them. But so I don't know what style this beer is. It's unfiltered. By the smell of it, I think it's a unfiltered wheat ale. It's very, very straw. It's like straw. This actually, looking at it here, does not look good. It looks like a bit of piss, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's because it looks like piss.
That looks horrendous.
I know it does. It looks really bad.
That looks horrific.
I cracked this can probably about like 20 some minutes ago, so all the head is dissipated. The aroma's a bit citrusy, but for like a wheat ale, if that's what it is, it's actually quite decent.
Can't unsee that now.
I honestly think you've just pissed in the cup. You're just like, yes, this is the beer.
If that's the case, he really needs to hydrate.
It was beer 30 minutes ago.
No, it's piss.
Yeah,
It's the piss
I'll
from
bring
the
it back
beer
up.
he drank already. That's what it is. Anyone else got beer?
I do. I have Trogs is actually local to me. It's just up the road from me. But this is one of their Hop Cyclone. I meant to turn that off.
That's a great name.
There you go. Hop Cyclone. I wanted to. It's a hazy double IPA, so it actually is going to be very similar to Keith's, but so that one's actually
Doesn't look
nice.
like this.
No.
Slightly darker than mine. Mine's slightly paler.
Percentages.
It looks like apple cider you might have like made out of gala apples or something like that. So like
say apple cider.
a lighter apple.
I can't even see your beard through that. That is very hazy.
Yeah.
Indeed,
It's like an apple pie mixed in there. That's what it looks
Kind
like,
of,
an
yeah.
apple pie blended.
It's Citra, Sabaro, Simicone, and Sultana hops. But
nice.
if I don't know if you guys have had anything from shoot. I can't remember, but there's a lot of New England style is like very unfiltered. What I would call
super popular now.
Very sticky. I'd call it sticky type ones like if you didn't, you could very understand if you're like, did they use weed to make this beer? Like it has that kind of like very sticky but very soft, very easy to drink flavor. And yeah, and I would also describe this dangerous because this tastes of the same like alcohol level. It feels like, oh, like it can't be more than a I don't know, like a mimosa or something like that. This SOB is 9%. So that's why I'm drinking this very slow. Very slow
It's only 10 in the morning.
session.
Yeah, at 10:42 in the morning. So I'm like,
And you have
your
a daughter
commitment.
upstairs.
I like your commitment, Mike. I like
Start
it.
the day off
well,
right.
it's because the only other stuff I had in the house was Yingling Lord Chesterfield, and I'm like, no.
Oh, Yingling's great. I love Yingling. My favorite American beer.
It is. Lord Chesterfield is their ale versus their
Oh,
lager.
I haven't had that ale. Is it good?
Yep. Oh,
Are they-
it's my go-to. That's the thing. I'll pick up a 12 or a 24.
They're
of and
America's
have around the
oldest
house.
brewer. Would you believe?
They are.
Yeah.
They are.
Yep. I've been on the brewery tour and everything. It's good fun.
Nice.
It's decidedly unpatriotic if they're calling their beer Lord anything. Surely
It's a
after,
mockery.
Yeah. Well,
Hollow
it's,
mockery.
you know,
Never take the insides out of a mockery. It never
Like-
ends well.
We ended up calling a Hamburg a Salisbury steak. We just never knew that the actual name was a Hamburg. So I learned that like 3 years ago. It blew my mind. Like it's not called Salisbury steak.
Keith, I'll be very quick and we can move on. I'll be very, very short. I just wanted to give a quick update from last week in our discussion of Marvel's Avengers. I just read a story this morning that just made me go, what? Which is Marvel's next gen versions of Marvel's Avengers
I saw that, yeah.
are delayed into 2021 along with the Hawkeye DLC. So rest in peace, Marvel Avengers. You fucked up and you're done.
Good riddance.
Yeah.
we're terribly
There's
sorry.
no coming back after that. There's
Yeah.
just no coming back.
We'll see you in the pit along with all the copies of ET.
The $5 versions that I'll pick up in like 2 years from now.
But question, do you guys, like, seriously, do you think Avengers effed up as much as, say, Anthem?
Yeah.
We kind of talked about
Also-
it last week a little bit, but
Yeah.
yeah, we were on the same
Yeah.
similarity.
Yeah,
we think
they
there's no
took
coming back.
How you can ruin a franchise that at this present moment is a license
It's
to print
massive.
money.
Yeah.
And its
Square
popularity
Enix-
is more than ever right now,
Square Enix did a full-blown EA with Star Wars.
except
Yeah.
worse.
Yeah, except
Much
they-
worse.
Yeah,
at least,
they weren't
at
able
least
to
they can make
rescue it
another
with a-
Star Wars game. Here, I don't
Yeah.
think they'll be able to make another Marvel game.
They weren't
didn't-
able to rescue it with a decent space sim.
Yeah,
Full
I didn't.
blown EA.
I didn't play it as much, but from the people who played it, it seemed at least they enjoyed playing.
You know what the
Marvel's
biggest mistake
Avengers.
was? The biggest mistake was it not being free to play. Because if it had been
Yeah.
free to play, people would have given it the time.
Yeah.
People would have just jumped in, and then they probably, and there is that percentage. I'm not going to, but people are going to pay money on the microtransactions, and they probably would have made enough money on the microtransactions to warrant the paying for the game. It might have taken a while, but that's what they should have done. Pay to entry, it was always going to flop because it's basically a free to play game that you have to pay for, which is ridiculous.
Yeah.
That game only
Premium
came out
is
a month ago. It feels like it came out 5 months ago. That's crazy.
Yeah.
The Spider-Man
and-
thing that killed it. The Spider-Man killed it for me because essentially all they did there is they said, you guys are going to get a better product and you guys are going to get an inferior product, but we want the same amount of money from you as we're getting
Right.
from them. So jog
Yeah.
on. So they got no money.
I would extremely disagree with that, but okay.
How can you
Right,
disagree with that?
enough
That is
about enough. Shut up, everyone. Enough about last week's topics.
We can talk
We're
about it
here
after
to
the
talk
show.
about this week's topic. No, Mike, would you like to, since it's a topic that you introduced, would you like to introduce the topic?
Me? Okay, sure. Like sometimes you say Mike, sometimes you say Mizek. I'm like, so I wasn't quite sure who you're doing. My topic that I wanted to
Well, there's
introduce.
only one person on here known by either of those names. So,
Okay, fine. Like,
Now, if you say Mitch, we get in a different territory, but it's not even close.
okay. What I wanted to bring up was last gen, last minutes, because obviously the new consoles are coming in and it makes people think about, that thing I didn't finish from last generation. And so I wanted to ask people what were a couple of things they might be trying to finish before the new consoles come out, and/or is there anything that you are specifically putting off to try and play on the new consoles? Because I have a couple in both of those areas. And,
would you, have you got anything you would like to start with before
Sure.
Mitch and I, because we're the only other two people who bothered doing backgrounds.
We're dual wielding the background.
Oh, I
fight
assume
right
your
now.
background was mainly just for what we're going to talk about the next topic, not the current one.
No, it's
Well,
the
I'm going to
current
include
topic.
it in this one because I need to finish by 5 because I want to go and watch the fucking rugby.
Oh, of course.
All right. The like I had a short list. I'm not going to talk about all these, but you guys might say like, whoa, why aren't you talking about that one? And these were the games that I had kind of wanted to try and finish. Obviously, I'm not going to, but this is the short list. Uncharted 3 and 4.
Whoa. Uncharted 3?
I'm like,
That's
because
like 2 gens.
Well, it was in the
It is
in the Drake collection or whatever.
correct. It was in
he
it was in
finished
the
those
Drake
on this
collection.
gen.
It was in the Drake collection.
Thank
So
you.
to me, they're
Forgot
all
about that.
they're all PS4.
You got the
They're all
PS4 version. Gotcha. Okay.
I play those on backwards compatibility.
The 3's worth playing on this one though because it's not going to get much better on the next one. I would wait for the next gen for 4 for sure.
Yeah, three.
And 3 is my favorite, so I'm
the
a little
reason
disappointed.
the reason I stopped like playing was because I had been playing through the collection. I did 1 and then 2 and then got halfway through 3, and I was also I think at the time playing either the second or third Tomb Raider game, and I was playing that on PC, and I was like, man, I really wish the story quality of the Uncharted games could be with the gameplay of the Tomb Raider games, because with the Tomb Raider games, I was like, I got my bow, I got things, I'm doing upgrades and stuff like that, and all the Uncharted is like, okay, I got the pistol, the AK, maybe the something else or whatever, and like, oh, the chest high wall room. All right, I guess I know what I'm doing for the next 5 minutes here, and it just burned me out a little bit because the gameplay was not backing up the really good story. I loved the stories, and that's what actually pushed me through all those games. And that was the first time I considered dropping, because I normally play things on like hard, like second highest like difficulty, because I'm like, I want a challenge.
Thank you.
Then you can hold on.
You don't
Thank
play
you.
stuff on the highest difficulty.
Mike's
What
cue,
are you?
Mike's
Evan?
cue. I just have to tell you, if you're going to complain about how hard the game is, you don't get to complain about it.
No, I'm not complaining about the difficulty. I was just saying, because normally how I play is like find as many secrets as I can, like enjoy the challenge. But I was like, I just really care about the cutscenes between the game now. I was considering dropping the difficulty just so I could blow through the game and actually finish the story, because and so the Uncharted 3 and 4, I picked up 4 because it's free on PS Plus. Horizon Zero Dawn is a game I haven't finished from this unit, and it's hold on, it's one of those weird things, because me and my roommate, we kind of pinged back and forth on giant open world games, like of who was using the big TV to play it. And so he played through Horizon Zero Dawn, I played through Witcher 3. He played through Red Dead Redemption 2. I played through a couple of the Souls games, Neo and those games. So like he would watch me play those, and they're like I watched you play 30 hours of this game.
You saw him play it? Okay.
Yeah,
that's
so
slightly different, but still.
So I watched probably
before you move on, move on to a different game, I just would like to say that Mitch's background right now is my favorite of the Uncharted games, and that should be on your list.
Lost Legacy
might be mine. That might be mine as well. It's pretty close.
We'll get to it, fellas. We'll get to it.
Okay. So is that one? Also Super Mario Odyssey. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about
literally
it. Don't worry about
stabbing
it.
daggers
Don't
into
worry
Evan's
about
heart.
it.
You don't
Move on.
Don't worry about it.
if you have to collect another fucking moon ever again, especially when the moons are not creative, because they keep doing the same kind of moons over and over again.
Oh my god,
that's annoying.
You didn't even put a dent in the surface of that game.
What are you talking about? I got
the moons are not creative.
I went to the far side of the moon. And like
that 30%
of them
bullshit, not creativity.
And 30% of them are on repeat, Evan. 30%, and you can buy like 10. Sorry, what is it? You can buy.
No, there's legitimately only about like 700-ish, and the rest you can buy, but there's still a shit ton of moons.
Yeah, the fact that you have to buy that, you can buy that many moons, shows how unreasonable it is.
You don't even get a golden shit for collecting them all. I mean, it's not like it's Zelda breathing in the wilderness or anything.
No, when you collect them all, then you can mention it to everyone that you know.
And Evan,
Evan,
I'm not a trophy.
That's what that's for.
I'm not a trophy collector, and the fact that I quit on getting to the darkest side of the moon because it's too many moons away to get there.
That's really easy to get to the darkest side of the moon.
No, I got to the dark, the one with the platforming.
Or like the final level.
The final level. That's like 700 moons or something like that.
Yeah,
it's like six. It's six something. Sorry. All right, let's get back on track.
So you didn't play
Mario.
Yeah. So what we're saying,
definitely worth it. Play it.
Okay.
No.
Yeah. So it's absolutely worth it.
So this is the thing. I actually own all these games that I'm listing. And so I'm in possession.
You can return it. Go ahead.
I'm in possession. No, I can't. Well, I can. I can return it to my brother because I'm borrowing it from him.
Can I ask Matt? I'm going to ask you, as being the Lord and Master of Zoom, for a clarification, because Mike just brought up a Switch game. Switch isn't getting a next-gen upgrade for a while, so do Switch games actually count towards the list that he's talking about?
Oh, they don't.
Well, I would say so, because they're still.
They can bring out Switch Pro, aren't they? Isn't that actually happening?
But that's
it's not
confirmed.
Announced. It's not coming, so it doesn't exist yet.
It doesn't exist. We can't assume.
But it is.
It's on the same level.
It's an
as
existential
PS4.
console.
So what you're saying is it qualifies as current gen, but it does not qualify as last gen.
Yes.
Correct. Okay. So it can't be on your list,
So
unfortunately.
are you going to play Pikmin 3? because that was last gen. It's coming to Switch.
Okay, and so you're saying by proxy, I should also eliminate the Breath of the Wild DLC.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Does that not come to
pretty good.
Wii? Then the Breath of the Wild DLC not come on Wii?
No, it came to the Wii U. I
But,
played
Yeah,
it.
but
Wii
again,
U,
we're
so-
not. But again, it's
That's
not,
last gen though.
But
Wii
no.
U's last gen.
Definitely last gen.
That makes sense.
Definitely last gen.
Daniel,
Wii U is
Daniel,
last gen.
Daniel,
But I still
clarified
couldn't
this.
play because I don't have a Wii U. My
And-
brother
and-
does.
Yes,
but
there
I
we
don't have
go.
one.
And Daniel, we're clarifying that like you have to go into a new generation to
Yeah,
be
you
able
have
to.
the Switch.
No, but the
No,
no.
you're going back another whole
going back
generation.
another
Is it,
generation.
Mike, have you got any 360
But he
games you
hasn't
want to
played
finish
it
before PS5 comes out?
You got PS2 you want to play? Any PS2 games?
Actually, it's funny.
Hey.
It's funny you should bring that up because I was going to end this list with the game I actually have been spending my time
Persona
playing.
5.
No.
Oh, because I was thinking Persona 4 Golden. I was thinking of like.
Okay, here's very interesting about Persona 5. Like, I played the living crap out of the fighting games, the Persona fighting games. That's actually the only games I've played in the Persona line. And back when I was actually trying to create a game for Easy Allies last year, the year before, it was how many different games could you beat of the top 10 games of the year in the time it took you to beat Persona 5? because if you look on time,
all of them.
It's 100 and something hours. So
it was like if you beat Persona 5, like, because it's like on time to beat, it's like main game is like 96 hours, main game plus is like 105.
yeah.
Like it
was 120 for me to beat the original.
well, and
Dude,
then
Liam got the platinum trophy. Speaking of
Yeah.
platinum trophies, that's
And
crazy.
so-
Fucking Christ.
And so like of the games of that year, it's like you could beat Super Mario Odyssey, like this game, and this you could beat 3 of the other top 10 games of that year in the time it took you to play
To beat
Persona
one.
5.
Yeah.
Persona 5. So I'm not saying you were wrong, like anyone was wrong for playing that, but I'm like, that is a huge commitment, and I have a backlog of gigantic commitments. Like because
But
I
it's
was
a really good commitment.
I know it is.
Did that game
but-
change at all past the first sort of 10, 15 hours? Because I played about 15 hours of that
changes.
game.
Oh yeah,
But
it
is
changes.
Does the gameplay change at
Is
all? Or
Persona-
is it just
is-
the
yeah,
story?
It
Is
keeps
playing through
evolving.
Persona 5 a better use of my time than say finishing Blood and Wine for Witcher 3?
That's
No,
Persona
because
5.
I played The Witcher 3 the other well,
It's not
about
that great.
4 months ago now.
Play
And I
Persona.
got,
Blood and
I got
Blood
10
and Wine
hours
and
in.
Heart
and
of
hated
Stones are
it.
great.
Yeah, no,
Yeah, but you have to get
I
that far. I never did.
yeah, no, I did. No, I beat the main game. Like, did 120 hours on the main game.
But Mike,
beat
but
Hearts
Mike,
of
see,
Stone.
you're a Witcher guy, so I guess I would say yeah, you would rather play Blood and Wine because I remember we had a conversation on the last show that you were like, give it a chance, and we were talking about
Blood and Wine's amazing.
what was
So-
the one with the Blood Baron or whatever his name is that
the Bloody Baron. I said like
With-
that's
it
actually
could-
part of the
have
original thing and the
playthroughs
first
type
like
things.
yeah
And
first
we
like
talked
10 or
about
15
that.
hours of the game, and I was like some of the best writing I've seen in a
Since
game.
Mass Effect. Right, moving on to different games or a different person.
All right, almost.
Sorry
I
for the
got,
hard cut there, but we're
got-
starting to stray off topic.
all right. I got 2 more games on this list.
stay on topic.
It is stay on topic. Sekiro. I am a huge Souls guy, and this was one that was part of my short list because I wanted to finish that before Demon Souls Remake came out. So like that one is kind of floating to the top of my list of games to play.
Really brief, Mike's Q. I never finished it, but I played a bunch of it. But for some reason, compared to like Bloodborne, which I really, really enjoyed, I couldn't finish it.
Yep.
And I don't know.
I've-
I don't know
I've
if it's
heard
I
that
lost
even from
interest.
Souls
I think I
fans.
lost some interest in it, to
Yep.
be honest.
Me
Isn't
and
that one of the
Matt
games
didn't
that
even
they-
get out of the first room, so don't worry.
Isn't that one of those games that they've kind of demoed on like back compat? I'm sure that's one of the games that they've kind of shown as
Yeah,
running
they're giving it for
awful lot
free,
better on
aren't
next
they?
gen.
Aren't they giving that to you for free?
No.
Yeah.
Is this a-
Yeah,
It's
no,
in the
I'm sure
PlayStation
it just
Bloodborne.
plus.
No,
Bloodborne.
Bloodborne. Sekiro. no.
Oh, Bloodborne, yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
sorry.
The Bloodborne DLC is on my list. I own every console version and every PC version of every Souls game, and I own all DLCs for every Souls game, but I've never actually played the DLC for any Souls game. But the Bloodborne, just because usually what happens, I spend 300 hours playing the game,
Yeah.
before the DLC ever comes out, and then I'm just
And then you're done.
oh, I've moved on.
It's a relief when you're done because you're like, oh my god, I completed it. I don't need to do anymore.
And the last two ones is actually Final Fantasy VII Remake.
I fucking knew that was coming up.
Good
and I
choice.
was actually going to
Good
say,
choice.
if you didn't mention it, I was going to
Good
ask
choice.
Matt how
I
he
own the
feels
game.
about you not
I own
playing
Good
the
choice.
game.
Start
I own
playing
the
it.
game. Yeah, I own the
ASAP.
game. I've begun it. It's just we were in the middle of moving, and it was hard to dive into that game when I was like, okay, I got 20 minutes here, then I got to go pack pockets.
I'm
I got 20, like,
counting
Just-
down the days and the years when Burkoff finally gets his ass off and plays this game because he needs to. Because I've talked to so many people that love the franchise, and they're like, the nostalgia is great.
Yeah, but he
Just-
hates
just
the
coming-
mechanics. Leave him alone, Mitch. He's talked about it.
He can
seriously,
play-
how
he
much he hates the mechanics.
He can
doesn't
play it
want
on
to
freaking easy mode. He'll love it though. He'll
You know what
love
he can do?
enjoying it.
He can just play it on a ROM on a PC, the old original version, and then he'll be happy.
I've got a
That's
physical
what he
copy.
likes. Yeah.
and I'll
Right,
end
Dave.
with I'll end with
I was just gonna say-
ironically the game. Oh, sorry.
Just
Dave.
coming back to your Sekiro point, there was definitely, it was in the breakdown for back compat. I mean, it's an Xbox, but I'm sure it'll be
Okay.
the same on PS5. It literally doubled performance on the back compat mode. So if you are going to play
Really?
Sekiro, I would literally sit on that because it's jumped
Yeah,
in like a.
Okay.
I do have it on PC, but
Oh,
what
okay. Well, whatever then.
well no but here's the thing if I'm getting a PS5 and they do release a PS5 version of Sekiro, I might pick it up because I mean I'm playing on controller. I'm not doing mouse and keyboard for a Souls game, and that might just be a better way to get through it.
Is playing a Souls game on a mouse and keyboard the true way of
No.
expressing
Not
how
at all.
hardcore
No,
a
you
game
gotta,
is?
you gotta
Absolutely
play
no.
it. You gotta play it with a dance pad.
Yeah, I was
Didn't
gonna
you
say
know that?
a guitar hero guitar or a dance pad, or
You gotta do the Samba de Amigo fucking maracas or whatever the hell that was.
I was gonna say theremin.
You got to pull a Miyamoto and just like do one of these, like
I was gonna say
Wii
theremin,
Music?
but I haven't
Yeah.
seen a good
the Wii music.
workaround
Yeah.
for that one. But oddly enough, of all these amazing games that are on this list that I can't get my tuckus off to play, I have been spending my time over the past week playing through Alice: The Madness Returns.
Okay.
Oh, that is a deep cut. I remember that game too. It's like the gritty
Yeah.
Alice in
the thing was on a
Wonderland
Game Informer magazine, for God's sakes. That's how
Yeah,
old the
it
thing
was.
It
is.
was on
Well,
the cover.
there's two games. There's American McGee's Alice,
Yeah.
and that was like PS1 or probably just PC, but like it was
That
like
was PC
way-
only. That was years and years
Oh, no, so-
and years ago.
that was PC only, like around the PS2 era. And then Alice
BMT
the
before my time.
Alice the Madness Returns is from 2011, so it's 9 years ago.
Hey. I have a question. Why are you playing that game? Not to say that it's bad. I've actually never played it.
Evan, that shouldn't be an asked question because do you look at the background what Mike's Q has? Do you look at Mike's Q in general and he builds a freaking sword or a dagger in his backyard? How are you not playing Alice is the real question.
I have
guess
thought
so.
about making the Vorpal Blade. Like actually, like I have thought about making that for a fun project. But for whatever reason, the Alice games, even though they're like, oh, we're twisting and mixing up your
Perceptions.
like
of-
your perceptions of these fairy tales and classics or whatever, and I'm like, actually it feels more like you're taking the Lewis Carroll property, which already itself, if you actually read the books and things like that, is pretty weird. There's some pretty weird stuff going on there anyway, but it
It's
feels
dark,
like,
right?
yeah, you're meshing
way.
the Lewis Carroll mythos of stuff in the 18th century or the 19th century, bringing it back to the fairy tales of the actual Grimm's fairy tales era, of where like Jack the Giant Slayer or whatever, and all these different, and the Little Mermaid and all these things that were actually like trying to, for the most part, scare children into behaving. Like they weren't pleasant, wonderful stories. Like a lot of them are like, oh, like, and
No, I love that you brought that up because I think, and I'm thinking this is the direction Resident Evil is going into, is old scary story tales, like fairy tales, and just bringing them into reality through the T virus or whatever virus they use. I think that's so clever in regards to like bringing back fairy tales that would freak the shit out of people and make them real.
And
And
that's
so-
Mitch's one Resident Evil mention per episode.
I don't
And
know.
so-
I didn't know I get one.
Mitch,
And so-
you got to learn. I learned the hard way too. I don't talk about certain games. on
Sorry,
this podcast.
Evan.
He was
Can you
about to
say?
mention it right
Can you
there.
talk about some Yakuza really quick?
It's a marvelous series of games.
Great.
And so I was playing through this game because it actually also it's of an older generation where like there's collectibles and other stuff like that, but it's a game that you can play once and be done. And it was a game that I just never finished, and so I was like, I want to play through this game. And overall, it's the art style and stuff like that pushes through a lot of the 2011 mechanics and stuff like that, where it's just like it's like that feeling is just a little bit off.
isn't she? Yeah.
No, but that's
Controls are a
actually
little
not.
off.
Yeah, it's just some of the controls just don't feel as precise and fluid as we'd expect from a new thing, but it's been really cool. And it's cool kind of seeing because the backdrop of this game is that it's 10 years after the original events. And she's been in an asylum that whole
Alice is
time.
pissed off.
Well, no, because there was a fire. There was a fire in her parents' home, and the rest of her family died, and she thought she was responsible, and so she's been.
It's a revenge
Jesus
story.
Christ.
Well, no, she's been in an asylum and then got out, and so her wonderland is shattered. Like all the different things who were her friends and other things like that, they're all twisted or broken or all these different things, and it's her trying to piece that stuff back together and save herself. She's saving Wonderland. And so it's actually a decent twist on the mythos, and it's actually been fun playing a macabre game for Halloween, but it's not actually like a Five Nights at Freddy's or like an actual horror game. It's just a
Like
dark,
Resident Evil, my second mention of the day.
a dark skinned. Yeah, I do own Resident Evil 7. I'm gonna play.
Is
it
that
when
what
it-
you're trying
when
to
it-
finish, McWomble?
I'm going to try and platinum this fucking thing.
Oh my god!
To be honest, I own Resident Evil 7, and I was waiting for them to release Oculus support for it, but they are not officially going to do so. So I was like, I'm going to play this in VR. I have a Rift. Like, let me play this. And so I waited 10 months, and they're like, nah, actually no. And I'm like, so
It's okay. Resident Evil 7 is not amazing. It's fine. It's just fine.
no. But I wanted to be prepared for 8 because 8 is like 4, and 4 is my favorite. So
Fourth grade, yeah.
Okay, this is enough Resident Evil talk. We are going to move on. I'm going to step away momentarily. But we're going to go Mitch next because he bothered to do a background, and then Dave can talk about Diablo for a bit. That was Diablo background, wasn't it?
It was. Let's go to Mitch.
We'll put your background up still. We can just have multiples.
It didn't really work. It
Oh, it
didn't really
didn't?
work.
I
You
didn't
couldn't really
catch
tell.
it.
It just looked like a black screen. So yeah, let's
Oh.
see.
No, it works.
Yeah,
it works.
He's got
Keep
pissed
it.
off and left.
Yeah.
So you've pissed
Um,
Keith off and now he's gone.
No,
Okay,
actually,
continue.
I found this on the PlayStation Store for like $10. So I was like,
Totally
why
worth it.
not?
Yeah.
And
Nice.
I'm enjoying it, but I can now understand where The Last of Us 2 came from for a lot of mechanics.
You're talking
Like
about
the map.
Lost Legacy for the
Yeah,
audio
when I'm talking about
listeners.
Lost Legacy is what I've been playing.
another one I was trying to finish, The Last of Us 1.
Because they have the map and you can cross off things on that map. They have this giant open world space on this mini in regards to like this level I'm on right now.
Chapter 4, India.
Yeah, I'm slowly
Yeah,
getting
yeah.
through it. I do like how it's like I like how short it is, but I don't like how short it is. Like, because all of a sudden you get thrown into the adventure a little bit and not as much lead up, and I'm a little disappointed by that. But I do like the banter between these two characters. I think it works really well. Wow, I can't believe I'm forgetting their names now. It's been so long since I.
Nadine,
that's all
and
Iggy and Wiggy.
Iggy and Wiggy.
Okay.
Wait, what is that from,
This
by the
one.
way?
This one. this
I don't
character.
know. I put two sounds together. It
Okay,
might
I was
be
gonna say, is that
something.
from something?
So
I'll
this
look it up.
character specifically, I think they really flesh her out a lot more. I feel like I know her a lot better than just
Yeah, the woman's name you can't recall.
Yeah, I know.
You've
But I finally think I understand her better in regards
Sure.
to where she just pops in Uncharted 2 and you're
Chloe.
like,
Chloe, thank you,
Thank you,
Mr.
Chloe.
Quizmaster.
oh, there you go, Chloe.
He's not even on right now. He's popping up in chat.
How he knows that I pointed to her is the even scarier part. But basically, I feel like I know her a lot better and understand her as a motivations and as like a thief, and understand why
totally, because she was kind of a secondary character in the
she kind of was the created conflict that Nate needed between him and Elena. She
Sexual
was
tension and all
exactly.
that.
So yeah, I'm enjoying it. Again, it reminds me a little bit too. I kind of felt done with Uncharted after 4. So at the same time, while I'm playing this, I'm kind of like, I'm ready to be done with this like kind of game. Like I'm ready to, The Last of Us 2 was fresh enough, even though like it is mainly story heavy. But like mechanic wise, I'm ready to be done with these specific types of mechanics. So I'm really hopeful that they make a brand new IP,
even though I like them.
To the point where like the mechanics change up again, so that I don't feel like it's like this again. Because if it's gonna be like this again, I don't know if I want to play it.
Like you don't want like a Last of Us 3 or an Uncharted 5.
Correct.
It's kind of funny that you say that.
I was listening to you the whole time.
It's kind of funny that you mentioned that the mechanics of Lost Legacy sort of evolved into Last of Us Part 2. I feel like one of the reasons that I bounced so hard off of The Last of Us Part 1 was because I didn't like the stealth sections in Uncharted 3. And it was so clearly that was the demo for what they were trying to do in the original Last of Us.
And usually, Berghoff, I would say I would agree with you on that if like a big mechanic came out of Lost Legacy, but these were really minor ones of just doing a little bit more of open spaces. That's not much of a game mechanic. And then also the map. I think that I love the map. I love how like they actually write on the map, and it makes it feel like they're actually learning something than just going like, oh, how do I pop up this magical like sonar that just appears out of nowhere? And it's like makes practical sense.
Yeah, but the stealth in Uncharted 3 was not a huge component. It was just a few levels,
totally
but they were the most tedious fucking levels of the entire game.
Oh no, I even though Uncharted 3 is my favorite game of the series, I will say the stealth mechanics, you can tell it was a fresh thing they tried to do, and like it worked okay. It wasn't great, but it wasn't awful. It was just fine in my regard.
From my experience of anyone playing the Uncharted games, for the love of God, don't play like I did 1 and then 2 and then 3, because I nearly ended up hating those games by the end of it.
That's kind of what happened with me.
Start to finish.
I did one and then 2 and then got halfway through 3.
See, I don't get it, guys, but okay. But
I did all 3.
So there's that, and then one more great
in a
shout
week. In a week?
Yeah.
Like, okay.
I've done that before.
I need some variety, like especially if I'm transitioning like to new entries in the series. I need a little bit. It was nice that the games kept improving, like it wasn't as janky, like from 1 to 2 to 3.
Those games, though, the actual collection of them, there wasn't really a huge amount between the 3 of them, I don't think. Because I literally played them all start to finish. And to be honest with you, it's all just one thing. Big, long thing in my head. And I don't really remember there being much different to the first one to the last one. The only thing I can remember is one section, and it might have been a fairly stealthy section where you're infiltrating a castle type thing, and you're all running along the battlements, and then you're being sniped by everything. I literally almost threw my controller out of the window at that particular level, because every time I thought I'd got it, I ended up getting picked off from someone.
I just got past
other side of the council, and it was like,
I just got past that section. Is like the section where where you finally got back to the very beginning of the game with the train and in the snow. So I finally got back to where the game started.
Oh, you're on 2. That's Uncharted 2.
No, in the snow.
Yeah, and
It
this-
doesn't
That's
matter.
two.
It's all Uncharted.
No, no,
Who cares?
Sand is number 3.
I guess
Sorry.
point
Oh,
proven
no.
that we're
Sorry,
mixing
I
them
beat
up.
that. I beat that. I
That's
beat
okay.
that. Never
Well,
mind.
that's the point.
made,
Yeah,
exactly.
Moving on,
absolutely.
The fact that you can't tell the difference between actually the first one for me has the most memorable story because the others just seem to blend together, and I can't
Is
tell
that
you
the one
any
with the
difference.
zombies in the knife in the pit in the
Yeah.
middle
Yeah.
of the catacombs thing? Yeah.
That's Tom Brader.
Erebus, what are you going to talk about? What game?
Diablo.
Oh, well, the point is, all I was going to say is that I'm not actually feeling a huge amount of pressure to complete anything because the way this generation is going to transition into the next one, we all know that for the most part, the games are going to move and they're going to be either exactly the same, but for the most part, probably a bit better. So I'm not feeling any overriding pressure to finish anything now. What I would say though is I am trying to get 1,000 gamer points on Diablo 3 because I got a platinum on the PlayStation 4 and I've probably played thousands of hours of it on the PC. So it would be quite nice just to tick them all off just for a kind of neatness thing. And that already plays at 4K 60 on the One X, so there's no real benefit on it. So I'm trying to pick
current
that up.
world's most powerful gaming console.
The current.
I only have two. I only have 2 platinums on PlayStation, and I have a third one that I have in view. I have platinum in Spider-Man. I have a platinum in God of War.
I thought you were going to say Marvel's Avengers, and I'm like, whoa.
No. I have a platinum in Spider-Man. I have a platinum in God of War. That one was so rewarding. That one is so rewarding. I love that
glitched fuck me on that one.
Oh, that's
and
terrible.
there is no way I'm
I
playing
would
through
be
the entire
absolutely
game
pissed.
again.
Sucks.
I want to finish my platinum Bloodborne. Platinum. Blood. For me, the God of War one was the best because I kind of planned out my platinum. The last Valkyrie Queen was my last needed trophy.
It's a pain. I never beat it. Like I tried so hard and I could not beat it.
Oh, that was like 3 sweaty nights. Like it definitely
sweaty nights.
I
want to play that game.
I get you, Mike. Like I think I spent 7 hours trying to beat the Valkyrie Queen like in a row. I just like my goal one night was like I'm just gonna beat the Valkyrie Queen and I couldn't, so I just like. And I already knew the spoiler about it, so I was like, okay, I don't really need to beat it now.
I knew I knew the thing existed, but I didn't know what it did, which is actually some of my drive to complete some of these games because I have kept myself from seeing the spoilers. So I actually don't know really much about the Old Hunters DLC for Bloodborne. Like that's why I want to play it. I didn't know, I don't actually know the endings of the Uncharted games or The Last of Us, or actually my favorite last gen set that I want to finish is the Arkham games. I still don't know the ends to the Arkham. Okay,
yeah,
no.
I bought the collection on PlayStation. I need to finish.
No. Arkham Asylum was not my fault. Arkham Asylum was not my fault.
Play City, and then ignore the fact that Arkham Knight fucking exists.
I liked Arkham Knight.
Hold on.
I thought it was fun.
Hold on. This is the thing.
Hold
Arkham Asylum. Real quick.
It was the worst one.
I'm just telling you why I didn't finish Arkham Asylum. I got 89%
of tanks.
89% completion of the world in Arkham Asylum, and then the transition from game to Windows Live to Steam happened. And it destroyed my save file. Back when they removed game for Windows Live, it corrupted my save file. I'm like, and I had put so much time into getting all those all the Riddler trophies, all the things like that, and so I did not have the incentive to restart that whole thing.
Never happen in that. I salute your guys' perseverance. Your guys' ability to just really put yourself at something because you desperately want a platinum
But then he doesn't play other stuff. He only gets.
But yeah, I just don't get that. I mean, a game is usually got about 10 minutes after the point where I start getting pissed off before I stop and probably don't go back. I just the amount of games that I play and never make it more than sort of 10 hours into because I've just had enough and life's too short. Just whatever.
Yeah.
Sorry, two really quick points, and then we'll get to McWomble because I know McWomble really wants to, and I want him to talk about Until Dawn because I like that game a lot.
Yes,
but two really quick things. One, I would say Uncharted, the trilogy is a lot more bearable than the Mass Effect trilogy. Just saying.
No,
I-
I'm
I
gonna kick you
love-
off this
So
podcast
hold
right
on,
now.
hold on, hold
Somebody
on,
mute him.
hold on,
Mute
hold on.
him.
Hear me out. Gameplay wise, it's more bearable because I think.
I can't mute him.
Oh, dude, GTFO.
Anyways,
What is it?
Hold on,
because
hold on.
one, because one
You
is
just
what-
shut your hand and clap there, buddy.
I think I'll be the judge of that
one,
when I do my
'cause-
Mass Effect trilogy playthrough.
because
I played through the Uncharted games, so I'll
'cause
be
I was
able
gonna
to
say-
give you an
'cause I was
honest.
gonna
The
say
shooting
Mass
shooting
Effect
mechanics are a
on.
million times better in Mass Effect than they are in Uncharted.
not in one. One is awful.
No, one is a
awful.
million times better than Uncharted.
One is awful. Are you
One,
kidding me?
one is up
Fuck
here.
that.
One is
Mass
Well, I
Effect
can't
1 is
be-
up here.
I can't believe when
All
I was
of
a
the
kid,
Uncharted
I got,
games are down here.
No.
Hold on.
Mass Effect 1's shooting is terrible.
No,
it's fucking awful.
a million times
so-
better
Mass,
than
No,
Uncharted.
Mass Effect 1's
Berghoff,
shooting.
Berghoff,
Mass
when I
Effect
was-
1's shooting is better here than the PS3 version of Uncharted 1.
No.
But that's it.
No,
That's it.
Okay, so I for me, like to be honest,
Uncharted collection up here.
Now I love Mass Effect just like you all as well. I only say that is because one is
jumped on a grenade
extremely
there.
hard to get through.
One
is-
is
is
one
the
is
Story
longer.
is so good though.
Yeah,
and
the
if you can
story
get
is
the
good.
ending,
that game.
When you get into the
I'll be
later
the
games,
Lunar
it
Lander.
becomes a lot more like I think the jump in to get through
If
Mass
you're-
Effect
it-
one
it-
is a lot tougher than
it
something
also
like
depends if
Uncharted.
you're an RPG purist or not.
Right.
True. That's true.
Because
No, I totally agree.
one has significantly more RPG elements. Matt, maybe at some point next week we should talk about the build up to N7 Day, where there may be some kind of Mass Effect trilogy announcement. Right, moving the fuck on.
I too.
Oh, sorry. Second point.
Second point. Shit, what was it? Now, sorry.
Skip.
Arkham
games.
So Arkham Knight. I say Arkham Knight is a fine game because we already had Batman in a city. So I'm okay with driving around a Batmobile in a tank. It's fine because I already had like a really good Batman City game, which is Arkham City. So I commend them for doing something different and saying, let's not put Batman in the city again. Let's actually add some stuff and give him a Batmobile and have it do some cool shit. I don't care that the final level is a giant tank level. I had a final level where Batman was Batman in the first two games. That's my only saying of why I'm
Real quick
fine
question:
with it.
those games, is their release roughly their chronological order, or
Yes. Except for Origins. Origins is before all of them.
Okay, Origins before all the, and was that technically the third game to release?
That was
Yes.
the third game to release, but it was not made
It's
by
the
the same
first in the
studio.
series. Don't play it because it
Don't
doesn't
play
have
it.
Mark Hamill.
And it's not very
do
good.
yourself a favor on this one and just go to the Wikipedia, read the story, don't bother playing them.
It's
just
not very
move on
good.
with your
I
life.
enjoy playing those games.
Go on.
The first
Dude.
one's good. The first one is.
First one is good.
Yeah.
Asylum and City are brilliant.
I
Don't
enjoy
bother
those
with any
games.
of the others.
I enjoy
No,
those games.
Arkham
Like
Knight is fine. Arkham
Shadow-
Knight
Evan
Uh,
needs to go to sleep
Arkham
at
Knight is
some point,
playable.
people.
All right, Keith.
I burned out on Shadow
I'm
of
bothered
Mordor.
by what most
All right,
people are
Keith.
saying. That's all.
Go ahead.
Me too.
I'd like to go. I'd like to go to Evan next.
Sorry, I'm allergic to liars.
Mine'll be quick because we actually already
What
talked
about
about
harps and cymbals and tambourines?
Wait,
Evan is all
allergic
that.
to
Go
those
ahead,
things?
Evan. Just go.
Lyre,
Just go.
Lyre. Never mind.
Oh my gosh! All right, that was a deep one. Sorry.
Deep
I
cut.
didn't
Go.
cut.
Persona 5 Royale is my final game to slay.
But you've already
Okay,
beaten
Jen.
Persona 5, so why does that
No, I
count?
haven't. No, I haven't. I've
haven't?
only played about three or 4 hours of it.
You had that game before I had that game.
I had that game before most people did because I bought it when it came out 6 months
Oh
before
my
it's
God,
released
Because
in the
he's
West.
Gaijin.
So
Because he's
yeah,
Uber
'cause-
So
Gaijin.
if you start playing that now, does that mean you're not getting your PS5 until sort of June next year?
Might as fucking well
Well,
be,
he's in the
basically,
raffle,
yeah.
so who knows when he's
2022.
going to get it.
So
Hey, how's your raffle going?
I dropped out of one. I'm still in another. It's the worst system. I get because it's to
Make it
help
fair.
against scalping, but it's an annoying system. So
I'd rather
bought
that than scalpers.
I will take a raffle. I'll take a raffle in the United States over doing the scalpers taking all the consoles.
Well, no, but then
Yeah.
you got the scalpers having multiple raffle tickets. So it's a safe issue.
yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, but
I don't know the system very much.
But then they've got a theoretical chance of getting a console, and then actually just
Yeah,
using
true.
bot software to buy them.
They have
So,
to actually
yeah,
go
so
and
it
do
is
that
slightly
themselves.
better.
Like they can't have a computer do it for them. So, anyways, so you bought Royale and Royal, and you're gonna play that instead.
No, no.
Five
So
Royale.
I
Five
bought
players enter,
Royale.
5 players leave.
Sorry, Royal Edition.
I bought the initial game when it first came out, and then online I'm like, hey, look at me, I live in Japan, I'm so fucking cool, who actually gives a shit? And then, no, I played the game for like 5 hours, and then I got sidetracked by something. And then it came out in the States 6 months later. I'm like, well, it's the exact same, Mikey, the same problem you had where I got sidetracked, and it's like, but this game's only 12 hours, so I'm going to play this game first. And this game's only 8 hours. And then it just got to the point where reviews came out and the game's over 100 hours. I'm like, oh man, well, I'll play it someday. And I just kept pushing it further down the lane. And then we heard rumors about a possible Persona 5 Golden Edition or Persona 4 Golden Edition of 5, which made sense. Like, okay, I'll wait for that. And I just kept kicking the ball down the street to where I haven't played it. And now that Royale's out, this is kind of my last chance to do it, because once I get my PlayStation 5 and
play through the 2 games for it.
Yeah, right. You're right.
2 really good games,
and,
though. 2 really good games.
Evan, once you get the platinum in Astrobot's Playroom.
Okay, man. 3.
Sorry, 3. No, there's 4. There's Sackboy if you want to play Sackboy.
You got to get cards for Sackboy.
Oh man, I'm gonna have cards. I'm gonna have a fat stack of cards. Let me tell you.
I'm really curious on what the cards will be for Spider-Man. Something like an open world game where it's not like chapter by. I wonder if they break it down by like trophies, mission or like how the cards will look.
My wife is excited Spider-Man. For the cards, or my wife is excited for the estimated time to complete activities thing.
Because then she can tell you that she can tell you when to do your chores. Then
and then
it's also like good for me because sometimes I'm like, Katie, honest to goodness,
I don't know when I'm going to be done.
I have no idea how long it'll take to hunt these 5 dire wolves. Like 2 might be here, 3 might be in Wisconsin, and the last one in Narnia. Like I don't know. Like they could all be having a dinner party. I should get them all at once, but I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. That I'm calling it now. That feature, as they displayed it now, is going to be one of those things that you see a lot of for the first 3 months, and you only ever see it on first-party titles, and nobody else uses it.
It's up to the devs to put in the extra work.
Yeah, but games like Call of Duty, you'll use it to go multiplayer, Warzone, and single player. Everybody else not going to touch it.
I would only say the exception of the rule would be if Microsoft does this as well. That has a feature on their OS because they have not showed off their UI system yet. That if they do a feature, I think more developers would be more inclined to do so.
They already do things like tracking, like the numbers you were saying earlier about headshots.
That's all I want.
That already
all I want is tracking. You don't have to give me cards or anything like that. Just let me track my trophies and make it easier for me to track what the hell I'm trying to get.
I think it'll be interesting. It'll be an interesting middle ground between all of the systems.
And I think the final thing about would be really interesting is if people can post their own videos on how to get a trophy. So if they didn't have one on there, like the publisher didn't make one, you could get user created ones, which help people.
I'm sure that will happen. I'm sure that will happen.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Or it's called Evan.
Sorry, quick final point for Persona 5. One other reason I kicked it further down I keep changing what I'm saying. Further down the hill, further down the street.
Yeah, you're mixing metaphors. Terrible.
I know. Yeah, I know. I realize
further down the rabbit
hole. But they're all being kicked. It's fine.
the consistency in my metaphors is that something's being kicked further down the street or whatever. It's being kicked. The reason was I kind of walked away from JRPGs for a really long time, for like decades. I just got sick of them, and I hadn't played a lot. But then Dragon Quest XI, like November of 2019, just lit a spark under me where I just started getting into them again, and then it was like Final Fantasy VII Remake, Yakuza 7, Final Fantasy 15.
It's hard for me to ingest Dragon Ball art through not Dragon Ball, and I don't even ingest Dragon Ball that much. So like
that is 100% an actual. It's a legitimate
Yakira Toriyama. He's a great genius in certain things, but I'm like,
his art style is so similar.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But so like I just got on this giant JRPG kick. There's a lot of kicking going on. So I think I'm finally in the mood to tackle a JRPG, but it is the last game before this generation starts where it's like, all right, if I don't do it soon, I'm never going to play the game.
Why don't you just play it on PlayStation 5?
Yeah, I suppose.
If there's nothing after you complete the 2 new games, well, you just wait and you want to play Royal, just get it on PlayStation 5 or PlayStation 4 and play it on PlayStation 5.
Dan comes in with the wisdom of the gods.
Wait, I think
the whole point.
But if I remember right, it's free if you have PlayStation 5 and PlayStation Plus. You get the original Persona.
Yeah, it's
5,
not the Royal.
Not the Royal
original.
version. No.
You get the original.
You don't get the Royal version. But what I was going to say is, I've come to a decision. One, that I need to finish.
You're quitting the show.
Horizon Zero, no, the Horizon Zero Dawn, the expansion. I got halfway through and then got distracted with, Frozen Wilds. I got distracted with Last of Us 2 and then Ghost of Tsushima. So I've got to finish that. I've also got to finish Ghost of Tsushima because I played it again today with Keith and realized I still haven't finished the main story, so I need to do that. And the other thing I realized was that I was going to
tutorial. I was going to say for anyone here, I did go and load up the Legends. I played through the tutorial, and I'm ready to play. If anyone wants to do some stuff
me and
later,
Keith played earlier. It was good fun.
Without me. Didn't even invite me.
Fine, I'll play with you, Mitch. I'll play with you.
Okay.
Evan wants to play too, so we'll all play together. Without.
So what conclusion I came to was that I've just thought about it logistically and thought the PlayStation 5 I'm getting, the hard drive is completely ridiculous. It's so small. Instead of selling my PlayStation 4, I'm just going to play all my multiplayer games on PlayStation 4 for the time being and play my first parties on PlayStation 5 because I know that Keith isn't getting a PlayStation 5 anytime soon. I was going to play a cross-play with Matt anyway, so I'm just going to keep on playing my multiplayer games on my 1 terabyte hard drive and play my new single-player experiences on PlayStation 5. I decided that yesterday because I just thought, how the hell am I going to have all these games? I can barely fit everything on a terabyte. How am I going to fit it on 600 gigs? It's going to be ridiculous.
You're a smart man. Have you ever thought about imparting some of this knowledge on the younger generation?
Because I think parents like to trade in their consoles so they can then buy their child the next fancy, shiny new thing.
I was going
exactly.
I was going to find a needy relative for my PS4 Pro, but I have PT sitting on that thing, and unless I know I can transfer. To be honest,
that'll pay for your children's college.
I have never, to be honest, I have never even booted it up. I got it. I did the Zeitgeist. I clicked them I downloaded it. Yeah. And then everyone's like, oh, it's a holy grail. I'm like, I don't actually even like jump scare horror games, but
I missed it and I regret it ever since because I wish I had it.
I would
not care.
I would flog the crap out
of
that
because I would
go buy
exactly.
Afterwards.
No, exactly. That's the point. Like I wish I had it so I could sell.
But you have to basically sell your PSN ID with it.
Yeah, you
do.
I'll get a new one. It's fine.
Oh no, I wouldn't want to sell my PSN ID.
I will. That means I can I can get 100% platinum trophies because I can just select the games I want to play.
Can you not just play games that are downloaded if you just change the profile to another one on the machine? So if you create a new machine,
haven't tested.
All right.
It depends. It depends if it's your home console, then you can. But if it's otherwise, you cannot. So basically, my excuse profile would still have to be on the system for it to then allow other people to play it. That makes from memory.
Yeah,
because that's just sort of
DRM, baby.
The way that they found screwing people over from being able to flog it when Capcom. Oh, no, sorry, not Capcom. Konami.
Yeah.
So you can just stick that on. You can just stick that on a USB stick or an external hard drive.
You've got to sell the whole console with your game
rights because it has to be downloaded from the PlayStation Store. Yeah. And it's no longer in existence, so you can't take the single game and just put it on a flash drive and give it to somebody else because they have to re-download it from the PlayStation Store.
Yep.
All right, guys. I got to go. But final thought: if anyone wants to get rid of their PS4. Just put in a disc of The Last of Us 2 or God of War. Once you start hearing those fans starting, throw that fucker in the air and just watch it fly away. Just free it. It'll be free. It'll fly in the air like a fucking balloon.
What was it?
And it will be free.
It wasn't playing the game. It was in the menus. And I figured out what it was. I figured out what it was because for the Pro versions of those games that weren't originally built for Pro, normally the menus, the frame rate is uncapped.
Yeah, that's the same with full. What's it called?
Okay.
Warzone.
Warzone.
Yeah.
The main screen is uncapped, so it goes absolutely mental.
Well,
There
it
it
was
Screeches.
like until they fixed it. That was actually the same in Overwatch on PC. If you had an uncapped frame rate, like if you were paused or just in the main menu, it would go and just like use your entire system resources.
Blizzard's
There you go.
known for that. A year back, about 10 years ago, when StarCraft 2 launched, there was a load of stories about StarCraft 2 melting graphics cards, and it was people just
gosh.
pausing the game and leaving, and literally the menus were completely uncapped, and they were literally causing GPUs to like break down in overheat and
That's
stuff.
what killed my Sega Genesis, because my brother and I were only allowed half an
StarCraft 2.
hour a day to play each. And so when we were trying to beat Sonic the Hedgehog 2, we'd get as far as we could, pause it, and then shove the console like under the TV,
That's
and
what I had to do as well.
and come back the next day, unpause it. And so we beat the game, but I'm pretty sure that's what like eventually
Under
killed
the
our
system.
Genesis because we literally had that thing on for 2 weeks straight, like trying to beat that game.
The game's is tens of hours.
Yeah.
Before Evan
Right.
goes to bed, I want to ask him one quick question. How do you feel about the fact that you've got the platinum trophy in Ghost of Tsushima, but booting it up today, it will only show that you've completed 82% of the game?
Oh yeah, I don't care about that shit. That happened with Horizon Zero Dawn as well. I still have the platinum trophy. I don't care about the extra trophies.
I think
The
that
goal
happens
of getting
with,
the trophies
Bloodborne.
is to get the platinum. Once you have it, all that extra shit goes by the wayside. Okay, final thing. So boot up Warzone, keep the LAN cable in, go outside, get a really long cable, right? Pause it so you get in the menu, and you fucking throw that shit up in there, you can fly a kite. All right, I gotta go, guys.
All right, Evan, real quick before you leave, all I was going to say, because you were kicking the Persona 5 ball down the lane, up the chute, whatever. Like the ball that I have kicking the longest is I went out at midnight on a Thanksgiving to pick up the original Xenoblade Chronicles for the Wii when they like had another batch that they re-released. And that is the like, and I started playing that game, and that is the one 130-hour RPG that like I still have that ball kicking because I'm like
Trying to play it now.
Yeah,
Mike's cute. It's
I go
totally
play the-
okay.
I
To
go
be
play the
honest,
Switch version.
I'm not enjoying the combat as much in Xenoblade Chronicles.
Yeah.
And I've the Switch version.
Oh, that's the same game.
I know it's the same game, but
It is the same
Oh, it's
game.
the same game. Okay, right.
Yeah.
All right, then you
But-
got a chance.
But I went and got the Wii version, and I like sat on it for like I guess 8 years, slowly not playing it. Back when
Evan, before you go, on behalf of all of us,
what the hell?
many congratulations
Airbus.
on your official wedding ceremony being completed and you being a married man.
Yeah.
Oh,
Congratulations.
there's thank you. No, we just went to the ward office and
We're
signed
like
a
the
piece of
studio
paper.
audience in one of those talk shows now where they have just the screens and they just clap, clap.
Yeah, gotta get that
Evan, are you
green.
around tomorrow to play some Ghost of Tsushima?
Yeah, I should be. I'll let you
Mitch,
guys
are you
know.
around tomorrow to play some Ghost of Tsushima?
Oh, I'm so happy you asked me. What depends on what time, as long as it's not during my Bears game.
All right, I gotta put my sticker on my camera because I'm leaving. So
Skygo
you guys have a good night. I'll
right.
I'll listen to the rest of the episode later.
So
yeah.
basically,
Keith, what were you going to say about Until Dawn?
Yeah, I gotta go. See you guys.
When I was thinking about the topic as Mixit introduced it, was more along the lines of what games would I like to continue to keep playing.
wow, you totally really read that wrong.
In the sense of
What is your FOMO, man? Your
I
FOMO.
like you chewing on your case, Erebus.
I was just going to point out when we were talking about it earlier that this is the biggest waste of money that I've spent on this generation. Literally.
for anyone listening,
didn't bother.
would you like to tell them what case you're holding up?
It's a copy of Xenoblade Chronicles. In fairness, it's not the game's fault. My Switch has been the biggest waste of money this generation. But this in particular has been the biggest waste of money in terms of game. I was just mentioning because I'm sure somebody said they wanted it. Like,
no, I was gonna say how many hours are you
I'll
in?
buy it off you, Erebus. How much you sell it for?
Daniel, don't even bother. It's not that great. Because do you agree with me that the combat is just really dull?
It's an MMO. It is literally an
Yeah.
MMO shrunk down to play on a
Console.
console. It's literally the gameplay. If you would put that on a PC,
So
you would have literally powers running from 1 to 10, and that's what you'd do. You'd walk up to someone and you'd push 1, 2, 3, 4. All cooldowns on one's finish. 1.
And the story's pretty good, so like it could have been so much better.
I don't know. I didn't even really get into the story particularly. I was just
I've heard story wise it was one of the best of 2 generations ago. Like they're like that's why this game is amazing.
Well, I know Matt Kyle is big on it.
I was gonna say, Airbus, you do
Matt Kyle's
like
big on a lot of things.
you do like MMOs though,
lot.
right? You play.
Oh, I love MMOs. I love
Tor.
MMOs. Yeah. I play SWTOR. I play World of Warcraft.
The only
this one is a distant third.
MMORPG that I ever got into was Lotro.
I
And
got back
also,
into.
I also will
WoW
say
Classic last year. That was a mistake.
I will also
a
say
month and a half. A month and a
Yeah, too
half. I
much
literally
Microsoft
was
there,
like
yeah.
playing it like religiously to the point where I re-upped my subscription to my old World of Warcraft account and then played that for another month. At which point I told myself off and cancelled my subscriptions and walked away.
which I also will say that the game looks horrendous in handheld mode. It is the worst looking game I've ever seen in hand. It looks like 2-bit almost. That's how pixelated it looks. It's really
I've only
bad.
got a Switch Lite as well, so that probably doesn't help.
Oh no!
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Okay,
Yes.
Keith, we took away Keith's topic. Keith
Yeah,
really wanted
sorry.
to talk about
Until
Until
Dawn.
Dawn.
He's
I'm
jumped
Okay,
in.
let's
not
go on.
really. The thing that I'm most interested in is hearing from Matt if, but by the time that he gets the world's most powerful games console, would he have finished Thronebreaker: The Witcher Tales?
No, because he's buying it at launch.
That's a tough one. Maybe not.
Because he's buying it at launch and he's gonna hold it and he's gonna lick it in front of us and go, "Look at this beauty! Look at this backwards compatible thing that
Actually, I'm
plays my
not.
backwards
I'm
games."
not gonna buy it at launch because I'm
You said
still
you next year,
waiting.
didn't you, Matt?
I'm still waiting for reviews and to make sure that it's not gonna red ring or do anything like that. So
Or cook some food on the top.
Yeah.
There was something about it on BBC News after this lunchtime, actually. It said all the stuff that came out from all of the surprisingly PlayStation affiliated news outlets saying that it was really loud and ran hot. BBC tech news show called
Click.
BBC Click. They've had one of the pre-launch copies for 2 weeks, and the guy on there said, if this was a person, I'd have to hold a mirror over the fan to see if they were breathing.
That's
It's
cool.
that quiet.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, Jeff Grubb said something similar when he was talking about it as well.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Evan, this is for Evan in the VOD. I looked it up earlier, but didn't find a seam. Iggy Wiggy. The only definition I could find is an overly plump individual.
Okay, thank you for looking that
That's
up.
it.
Thank you for
That's it.
taking the time to do that.
Spoken like Jabba the Hutt.
Why have
is
you
in
got
the
Until
definition.
Dawn as your logo?
Because I don't. I'm guessing that this is going to be part of the backwards compatible stuff. That,
Yeah.
Yeah.
but it's nearly Halloween, and this is a scary game. And I've already been told by my wife
Animal
we
Crossing?
are finished. We're going to play this game on Halloween.
Nice.
Nice.
I'd play the new
She-
game. I'd play their new
I've-
game.
I've got Man of Medan that I
Man-
need to play as well.
No,
and
the
I've
new
got the
one
other
from
one
Man of
too.
Medan. The one that's coming
Yeah, I
out.
can't remember
on
the name of that one.
The Little Hope. Little Hope coming
Yeah,
out
that's
on
the
the
one.
30th of October. Coming out
Yeah.
the day before or
On Halloween.
On Halloween 31st. It's
Yeah.
set on like witches. I'm quite excited for
we
that.
should
to
do
play the others.
we should do a group stream with McWomble playing it and we just watch him play.
Or we could
was-
just on the Man of Medan ones. You can just
Which
play
plays
them
Under Dawn.
online. You can play online together. That'd be quite fun. All playing a different character.
The other one that I'm not so sure about
I
being
call
able
not
to
dying first.
is that I'm not so sure that this is going to get
Oh
pulled forward.
no! Oh,
I played this. I played
And
it. I played it twice.
F the
actually. I played it-
Oscars.
I played it
Oh.
for both.
So
guy
for
is such
the
an
for the audio
insane
version,
tryhard.
for the audio version, we're talking about A Way Out.
Way out. And I would say
Thank you,
it's
Burkhoff.
I wouldn't want to play it online with someone, but couch co-op with a few beers and some fried food. It was quite good fun.
Fried
That's how I
food.
played it. Yeah.
The beers and the fried
but
food in that.
I
sound
like how
awesome.
specifically it's
Yeah.
fried food.
Unfortunately,
Yeah.
this
Some
game
of
this
those pickle
game's
chips.
slightly. I don't believe in
Crisps.
curses or anything like that, or
But
voodoo, or superstition, because normally superstitions only affect you if you believe in them. But I'm starting to get the sense of there's something about this game that hates me, because literally every time I've tried to play this game, either online or couch co-op, something really bad has happened. So I don't know if this is going to be the game that I should play in Halloween, because I'm liable to get attacked by zombies, or a poltergeist is going to invade my house. But the reason I brought this up is I'm not sure that this is the intention of this and how it's meant to be played, where you play online with a friend, is going to get carried forward into PS5. It sold okay, but EA, how long are EA going to support the servers on this thing? I'm not so sure. So I'm thinking that this
It's still
generation
on-
is the only chance that I'm going to get to play
It's
it.
still on EA Play.
Right.
Yeah, it's going to be on
Free.
EA Play, so
It's still
it'll be
on
in your
EA Play for
Xbox day
free.
one.
So, be on your
So
Xbox
it'll be
Day
Game
One.
Pass.
if I got the world's most powerful console,
Yeah,
it
you
wouldn't
get-
matter.
or if you just have Game Pass on PC.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if this is on
I don't
PC
know, it
Game
is
Pass.
actually.
It'll be on Ultimate. Yeah, so you
Yeah.
need to get Ultimate.
I'm not sure if EA plays on PC Game Pass.
It's
actually.
not.
Not yet. It's
You'd
not.
have to get
No, it doesn't
Ultimate.
go live
No,
until
I
the
didn't
10th.
think it was. Yeah.
So who've we got left? Matt, I'd like
And
to
see,
hear.
that's half the issue. They need to clarify. Like when they say Game Pass, they need to say which one, because they just say it's coming to Game Pass, not it's coming
Well-
to Xbox Game Pass, or it's coming to
Well,
PC Game Pass,
basically
or Game
assume
Pass
that everything
Ultimate.
is going to be on Ultimate and go away and buy Ultimate and shut the fuck up. Is Microsoft's strategy at the moment?
They honestly should
Which
just have
is-
one subscription service, and it's just Game Pass Ultimate, and it
No, I
comes, with,
don't
it comes with
agree.
PC or console, and then
I
you
don't
get all the
agree
games.
because I currently pay $3.99 to put Microsoft rather than $15.99 if I had Ultimate. So I'm
you pay
happy to
$3.99. If I want
Yep.
Microsoft Game Pass, like
on PC. Yeah, I pay
No,
$3.99. It's great.
Jesus Christ, it's
I've been
way
paying
more here in the
$3.99 for a
US if I
year.
want. See,
Well,
yeah,
because he went and
got the
paid
special.
paid up like before the beta ended, and
Yeah.
that's why he has $3.99.
Yeah,
So
but
I paid for $1 for the first 6 months, $1 a month. It was $6, and then it increased. They increased to $3.99, and I just kept it at $3.99 ever
see,
since.
but that's your case where you got that special where like
But that's
everyone
because
else.
that's because when they mentioned it
it's
on
still-
at E3, I
It's
just
e-
logged on to my
I
PC
know.
and was like, "Yep, I'll
Yep.
sign up."
But here's
Even
the
to
Just
the
to
thing.
point where
say,
it
if I
didn't
start
work,
ignoring everyone,
didn't-
it's because the rugby's about to kick off.
Yeah,
So,
it didn't work,
yeah.
and I messaged a Microsoft employee while E3 was going on and said, "This bed is not working." He goes, "Oh, 1 second, let me just sort out your whatever they sort out on my PC," and it's worked ever since. He was like, "All right, perfect, thank you very
But
much."
like
So
that's
good work,
that's
Microsoft.
just Microsoft's
There you
issue
go.
in general. They just need to work on consolidating things because currently it's too much stuff.
what they
I don't
seemingly
agree.
need to do is just issue a blog post and everyone will be happy.
Yeah, but so you
I'd
can't
be
do
fine
it.
with a blog
It's not like
post.
messaging. It's like messaging's been shite from
Hey,
PlayStation.
at least
And
they
then-
did a video for your UI, and they did do a blog post to tell you exactly what the features are.
Yeah, but didn't the digital Froundy video come out before the blog post, which I thought was hilarious? So you
Wait,
kind
what?
of already seen some of it.
No, they
It
held
just-
it for. They held
Oh,
it.
did they
for-
held it? Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, they did a blog post after they did the video.
Okay.
No, Digital Foundry's video came out. I think it was an hour afterwards. So they
Oh,
must
okay.
have had it ready to go.
They
and
did.
they held
They
it
got
for
it
an
in
the
the
hour.
night
video
before.
that they saw it the night
Because in the
before.
video they mentioned it the night before, yeah.
Yeah, because it looked like
Right.
nighttime.
Dan, anything that you would like to talk about? Would you like to talk a little bit about
Yes,
the Ghost
before
of
we go.
Tsushima Legends mode?
Yes. Me and Keith had about an hour,
Keith
2
and
hours
I.
of this.
You don't
Keith and I,
teach
sorry.
English, do you? Jesus.
No, thank God. Thank God. But you can
He
say that. But I
speaks
think
the
it's,
Queen's English.
not really.
No, he speaks the
the-
sciences.
The,
So talking about English, sorry, Dan. my wife and I just finished
This
watching.
is the guy that wants to get done really soon so he can watch his rugby.
I don't have
it's-
PC,
it's
so I can't watch it.
It's
He
just
is.
started.
Yeah, I was gonna say he's
already.
already watching. He doesn't care anymore.
You should be off the
I want
show.
Exeter to win because I don't want the French side to win. My wife
Fair
and I
enough,
finished
fair enough.
watching The House of Bly Manor last night, and
Oh,
there
yeah.
was. It's nowhere near as good as The
I was
Haunting
gonna
of Hill
say,
House.
Yeah, it's a little
Nowhere
disappointing.
near as good.
It's a little
Um,
disappointing.
But
Is it
Well,
one
it
of
as good as
depends. Well,
Castlevania
actually,
season 2?
Keith, it depends. What episode are you on?
finished
They
it.
finished
Oh,
it.
you
just
finished
said.
it. I will say once you get to like episode 4, it does get a little bit interesting, but not as interesting as Hill House.
Compared to the actual scary moments in Hill House.
Oh, it's
there's
not
probably
scary. It's more of a romantic gothic horror. Not even like
There are probably three
good jump scares.
good jump scares.
There's one really,
and-
really good one though. One that I think is better than Hill House, but it's not enough.
Yeah. But there's a lot more creepy stuff in it.
Yeah,
So like
for sure.
faces and shapes in the background and all that kind of stuff. But one of the things on accents, the actress who plays there's an old lady and she speaks ever so slightly posh, but every now and then she'll like end up in Lancashire, and I don't know why, and then she'll go back to being very posh, and it's really, really dragging me out of the story because she'd be saying, and when the au pair went for tea, when she was done, it's like, why? No one in this country speaks like that.
Well,
you
it's
can't
really
just
hard.
flip-
You have so many hard dialects to really get down that American people, it's harder for American actors to do British accents than it is British accents to do
Oh, yeah, it's
American
much more
accents.
difficult.
As a
yeah.
Brit, it's incredibly noticeable.
So
that
I
as well,
so I
yeah.
give
Yeah.
I do give them credit for trying, and I
Also,
think they did
it's
a
cheaper to
decent
employ
job.
British actors. It's also cheaper to employ British actors into American shows than the other way around as well. That's another reason why they do it.
Well, they don't. Yeah,
That's why HBO generally hires British actors because they can pay them less.
Yeah,
I
they're
just
not-
find it kind of I just find it upsetting that nobody, whenever they go, right, I need an American to put on a British accent, they never ever put on a West Country accent. You never ever see that. You never ever see a British bad guy in an American film come in and go, right then, I'm the baddie, I'm gonna get him. Never.
It's so true.
Do you,
Even
I
Darth
imagine-
True story, right? True story. Darth
no,
Which is
Vader,
a tragedy.
the
Which is a
actor who
tragedy
played
because
Darth
that's one of
Vader-
that's one of my
Yeah, he is.
favorite.
The actor who
one
played
of my
Darth
favorite
Vader is from
accents.
Bristol. That would have been
Yeah.
a totally different film. Would have been. Whoa, Force is strong with this one.
You imagining?
Absolutely.
You
I knew that
imagine?
from Bill Bailey, but
So
whatever.
you saying this makes me want to like have a Bond villain talk like that.
No,
It's
it's such a shame
can't
because that
read
is one of
and
my
I can't
favorite.
write,
That's
but
one of
that
my
don't
favorite
really
regions.
matter.
It's one of
Because
my
I
favorite
go to
regions.
What you need to watch,
Gloucestershire and I can
what you
drive
need to
my
watch
tractor.
is you need to watch what's it called? Shit.
Hot Fuzz.
All right,
Hot Fuzz.
Burkoff,
Hot
you're
Fuzz.
the
They
only
have
one
evil-
that
they have
has
West
not
Country
listed
villains.
the game.
Next town over, they film
do
that
you have
in.
a quick? Do you have a
I
quick
totally
shout out?
shout
I'm
out
having
what Dan was
so
saying.
much fun just listening to everybody else talk.
I'm
No,
just going to say
Dan,
something.
Just give us one
Aramis
game you
Jones,
haven't gotten
this
back that you
whole-
want to
this-
finish before
this
you play
whole
your
episode,
Xbox.
This whole episode, I've been thinking,
Chaos.
what does your voice remind me of? Brian fucking Moore. You sound like Brian Moore. I'm sitting here going, why do I know that accent when you talk? The rugby commentator,
talks?
Brian Moore.
Oh right, I don't watch rugby. No idea.
I thought Keith would. That's what I've been-
I'll YouTube him in a minute and see whether I'm offended or not.
If you had actually, Dan, thinking about it, if Dave had a slight lisp,
yeah, it's like
I'm
this-
there with you.
Yeah, I mean, it's just
His
not
name's
really, but
Brian
it's just like
Moore.
it was just like a little twinge. I was like, who does that sound like? Anyway, sorry for interrupting. Just
yeah,
because
if
he
you-
did mention rugby, it clicked.
As cousins over the crick, of the people who are Americans on this podcast, who do you actually think sounds like they have an accent the most?
They've all got
Oh, they've been-
accents.
Well, yeah, no,
Keith.
I know we all do. Like
Keith.
no. I'm talking about the Brits,
Oh,
like
which
analyzing
one of us has like a real accent?
analyzing the Americans. Like which one sounds?
We all sound
like,
very similar, to be honest. We don't
You
really
also-
have
you-
a.
No, I think you've all got very different accents.
Yeah,
if
you've
I'm
all
honest.
got
Yeah,
very
no, I-
distinct.
Mikey, I would say you sound like a lot of people I worked with in PA, which makes sense because that's where you're from.
Yeah.
I'm not really sure about the others two because it depends where you spent a lot of time. I spent most of my time in that region, so I recognize your accent more than probably the other two.
What's interesting is that Burkhoff does sound like non-New York City New Yorkers that I know, because I go up and visit. Well, for people who live out towards Corfu, not quite in Buffalo area, more of the middle upstate.
Yeah, I lived in
not Corfu, the island in the Mediterranean.
Yeah, I was gonna say Corfu's in the Mediterranean.
We went that way, not that way.
Corfu, New York. Corfu, New York.
Yeah, I used to live in outside of Oneida, Utica. So
okay, yeah, which makes perfect sense to me because
really?
I'm like, yeah, you're not like, hey, Flexi McConaughey, we'll take you all. Come on,
no,
you're not like that.
Are we going to talk about the Ghost of Tsushima? Because that is
Dan,
I'm afraid, chaps, I've got to go take a.
Go for it.
Sorry, guys, I've got to run because I've got to go and sort my dinner out. Unfortunately,
do something interesting.
That's what we should
well,
do.
no,
this
I wouldn't go
episode.
that far. I wouldn't go that far. But if I don't, I'm going to get divorced. So I don't really want to do that.
No.
Fair enough. I'll see you later.
But this
Why
was
is
good
your
fun.
TV facing the wall?
All right, later, Arbus.
That's my fourth monitor. See you later.
See you
chaps.
later.
All right, see you, man.
This is going to be the episode of attrition, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
It's the
Sorry,
endurance episode of how long
I do
can you
VO.
last.
I'm verbose. I talk. That's what I do.
But
Just
what
leaving
did
one
you
by
think?
one.
What did you think of this the multiplayer, Keith?
Well, since we haven't played the survival mode, so
I don't
let's-
have an opinion on this, so I'm gonna go too. Just kidding. I'm just kidding.
we Exeter just scored a try. Good for Luke and Dicky. So we've not played the survival mode because I would absolutely suggest playing that with 4 players.
4 people. Yeah.
We've just played the first 3 chapters of the story mode, which is basically just a rehash of the environments from the game.
Okay.
You're going in and clearing out camps.
Yeah.
But
Is this the 2-player or the 4-player?
yeah, this is the 2-player
Okay.
story option. It's interesting in a sense because you get to do that interaction. So Dan was playing as a hunter, so he had more ranged abilities, and I was playing as a samurai, so I needed to kind of run in and tank it a little bit. So we were doing things like, can you get up this tower and snipe people?
Support.
And
But you still have the abilities to assassinate and use your sword as the hunter. You're not, but you're more effective with your bow and arrow.
Yeah.
So
from
your
the
special
tutorial,
abilities,
you can all do all characters can do assassinate. All characters can do a couple of base things.
Yeah.
Correct.
So everyone can sneak. Everyone's got the ability to assassinate. Everyone can use the half bow. So only the hunter will be able to level up and use the longbow. And everyone can use some of the ghost, quick use items.
So like shurikens and whatnot.
Yeah. So the kunai, the smoke bombs.
Kunai.
But depending on which class you pick, certain things do different things. So the special ability for the samurai is to leech health from your opponents. So that's where they're basically the tank. The assassin, they when they use the smoke bomb, it's actually toxic. So you're best off running into a group of people, dropping your smoke bomb, poisoning them all, assassinating a few people, and running away again and hiding. The Ronin is the healer. So they can
reviver.
Yes. So they can
revive quicker.
Yeah, they can revive downed enemies. They're the one with the ghost dog that you can actually pet the ghost dog. Evan's already bagsied being the Ronin.
Damn it.
I was going to ask, what is the fill-in character that is not the most overpopulated? Because I'm at the screen where you choose your first character.
I picked the hunter. Keith picked the samurai. So it's whatever you want, really.
So
I think you probably need more attack. Like from the 3 missions we've done, I feel like people the hunter was fine, But I think if I had to re-choose, I probably would have gone with either the Ronin or the Assassin, because even though I'm enjoying the range stuff, there is points where I'm like not as effective when they like get overrun. So like Keith is doing a lot of the mop-up work.
So it seems like we don't have an assassin yet.
Yeah, we
No.
don't have an assassin at the moment.
Okay, all right, I'll choose assassin because I think you choose the first one and then you have to level up before you go
Yeah,
mark others.
you do.
Okay.
Yeah, and
Yep.
they've got the gear is linked to your level, and the levels, the difficulty levels are gated to your gear level.
Okay.
So Dan and I ran through the first 3 or 4 story missions, but we can't go back and play the harder difficulty of the first one because we haven't got enough high level
Good enough
gear
gear.
to be able to
Gotcha.
replay it.
Which
Okay,
in
and-
the end
and-
might end up burning me out because of that. If you know what I mean,
Gotcha.
you can't just access it. If we have to keep on, if we do have to go back into old story missions and replay them at a lower level just to get the gear, that would wind me up a little bit.
I guess it depends on how fun it is. The
I think-
question
I think
does your progress in the main game have anything to do with Legends?
No,
No,
only
not at all.
cosmetically.
Only cosmetic, yeah.
Okay.
So
Because in the main game, I completely cleared the first island, and I'm in the middle of the second island. I guess I'm on Act 2 or
yeah, that's
Act 2 of
that's
the
Act
game?
2. Be careful when you get to the end of or near the end of Act 3, because you can kind of trip into doing the
end of the
story
game.
missions rather than mopping everything up. But you do
Gotcha.
have to complete. It does kick you back and say you can go out and mop everything up, but I didn't want to do that. I wanted to mop everything up before completing the game.
Yep.
But it does ask you are about to enter into a long quest. Do you want
Yep.
to do this now? That's basically you are going into the final missions in the end game.
Gotcha. Okay. Thank you.
I'm really not sure, based on what Dan and I played for an hour and a bit.
Yeah, hour and a half. How that's going to hold my attention.
Yeah. It is just clearing out bases like you would have done in the main game.
I did like, to be fair, Keith, by the third mission, though, I did like they were adding different things, like which we worked out and then to kill enemies in more effective ways and stuff. I think the one thing we did notice is when you don't have the stances, it's some of the enemies
it's
are
tough.
more irritating.
It's really tough. They've purposefully built a grind in for you to. So if for the samurai, you start off with a stone stance and that's it. But
Okay.
you come up with shielded players.
Straight away.
I'm sorry. It looked like Mike's Q was pouring hand sanitizer inside his smoke thingy.
It's
That's the way we do. It's hard
Smoke-
times.
That's the hard times. You're smoking hand sanitizer.
Smoking
Cleanse those lungs.
very badly crafted ETOH.
Yeah,
hand sanitizer.
cleansing the lungs. You know, like killing the COVID. It's the alternative that Trump said
Oh,
to.
God. Any children listening to this,
Please do not do that.
Yeah, please
do
don't
not do
follow
that.
those
Please
instructions.
don't.
Well, this is rated as mature content. So if you are children watching this, go play GTA 5 instead.
Oh, you know what you
Or
didn't do?
Call of Duty.
McWomble? McWomble, you know what you didn't do? You didn't swear within the first 5 minutes. This one will actually
I'm
be
pretty
streamed.
sure I did.
Yeah, he
He
did.
did.
Yeah, he did.
He did.
Yeah, 100%. He said like, "Let's effing go. Let's effing go. Moving effing on. Like f the king."
Oh,
and
moving the
something like
fuck
that.
on,
He
that's what
he
he
said
said,
something
yeah.
like against both God and country. I think I don't know.
Yeah, your system of government is obnoxious and ostentatious. Probably
Oh.
ostentatious.
God, can it
You're-
just be November?
you're one
Can it
to
just be
speak.
November like 17th already, so I can just know that the world will be a better place?
So,
Or
so-
whatever it is. Whatever.
Or it's going into hell and destruction, and I need to move to another country like Japan or something, because that's a legit concern I have thought about.
But anyway. Oh, but
Alright,
yeah,
so
all in
speaking-
all, I
speaking
think
of-
it'll be fun with like the 4 people, but I don't know how long you're going to get 4 people together to actually get
Yeah.
longevity out of it.
And they've built in lots of MMO elements like dailies and raids and things like that. So I do not care about ultra hard content with.
But
Yeah.
but at least it's free.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
on top of that, you know, there is new game plus with some new dies you can do when you go play the actual game, which
I'm not going to do that.
Which unfortunately
Yeah.
I I wanted to platinum, and for some reason I accidentally hit new game, and so I have to start all over.
You've got to do it all over again. You do get an additional silver trophy for doing the new
Yeah,
game.
there's only
seriously?
there's only 2 trophies in New Game Plus. One for
Yeah.
buying an item as someone, can't remember who, and then the other one is to complete it, I think.
Oh no, but
Yeah.
the issue is I accidentally hit new game before this version came out,
No.
so I
you
can't.
didn't do New Game Plus. You just started
No.
a new game.
So you've got to do new game and
Why-
then new game.
Why
It was
did you do another? Why did you do a new game?
It was an accident.
Oh, okay.
It wasn't even
Insane.
me. Someone wanted to play it, and they forgot to sign on to a different profile, and they hit new game.
You don't even have a 9-month-old daughter
can
who
you not
grabs your
retrieve-
controller and starts chewing on it to blame.
Can,
This is
can
on
you not
you.
retrieve an old
This
save,
is on you.
Mitch? Can you not retrieve one of your old saves?
Don't think you can. I think it deletes
Oh.
it.
Mitch, what
Um,
you don't
I've-
periodically weekly
I'll look it up.
take a
I'll-
USB drive and copy your saves?
No,
I don't do that either.
because I'm not used to someone touching my console.
No,
Don't
the
touch
only-
my stuff.
To be honest, the only reason I did that because I was doing what I would normally do on PC for Dark Souls 3. I was basically copying my high-end game items for a lower level character, and getting my friend to help me do that so that I could do griefing in the early levels. So because I basically wanted to build a bunch of like stylized characters, so I built a Guts from Berserk character, but a bunch of the weapons and items for that were far ahead in the game. So I just dropped them all on an old character, but then reloaded a save, so I still had them on my original character. So a bunch of
You
fun
were
stuff like
cheating
that.
the game.
I'll go
Is that what
back
you're
and
saying?
see if I do have the save, because that would be great. Because I would
You
just
might have a
like
cloud save as well. So
That's
Yeah,
why I
check
would
it-
rather
saved in
cloud
the cloud.
Check your cloud saves.
Ooh, yeah, I'll check
Right.
that.
So, Matt, finishing
Yes.
us off, what additional games would you like to play? And also, have you seen that Star Trek Discovery Season 3 is just released on Netflix?
It's not on Netflix for us. It's on
not
CBS
Netflix.
All
It's
Access.
CBS All Access.
Yeah, sorry.
You have to pay for that shit.
Sorry, Netflix may be in his area of the world.
Yeah,
But
but
just
The
get
one,
a V-
the
I
one
could-
time
just get a VPN.
where Netflix customers in the UK actually get something.
yeah.
We
Because
get
we
quite a
can't-
lot of stuff to do with Star Wars for free on like Amazon. On like it's like the Picard thing was free on Amazon.
Prime,
and
yeah, Star Trek stuff.
But
Oh,
you
that's
had
awesome.
to pay for it in the US.
Well, currently, the first season of Discovery is being actually on television. It's actually going on. It's actually on CBS right now. Like you can watch it on CBS.
Yeah,
now.
I've said that's like 2 years ago, mate.
I've seen that a long time ago.
Yeah, such a
better
long
than
time
nothing.
I don't really care to watch it anyway.
It looks uninteresting to me, but I'm not a Star Trek guy. So.
As-
You've
as-
got
Matt,
episode season 3. It is season 3. It is.
Star Trek BT
They won.
BTM
Mate,
BMT.
you-
And also,
Before my
if you want
time.
the other previous seasons, there they are, ready just for free. Just sitting there.
just
Wait,
saying.
it's free on Amazon Prime?
No,
For
on
them.
Netflix.
Netflix.
Oh,
For them.
for them.
Yeah.
That's
Exeter
why you
just-
get a
Exeter just
VPN,
scored
and
a
that's how I
try.
watched How I Met Your Mother. I watched it in Canada on Netflix.
It's a lot
Except-
of
For whatever
effort.
reason,
Except unfortunately, Netflix is starting to catch on to certain proxy
Yeah, they
servers.
can now.
So
You have to have the
like-
right VPN. You have to have
Yeah.
the right
Yeah, you do.
VPN, or you have to have like a private VPN,
Mhm.
which
Yep.
is
Right.
because at my old house, we actually ran a VPN there because my landlord, he had a server in Omaha and a server in Lancaster, and when he was doing a job in China, that was the only way he could get normal internet, was VPNing back to our house,
Oh, jeez.
like because
Yeah.
it was a private VPN, so it wasn't
Yeah.
blocked by China, and so like with like 300 ping, but he could still actually get Google, actually get Facebook, actually get normal internet access when he was in China.
Interesting.
we don't do politics on this podcast. China is a great country. It's a wonderful country. That we're not going to get blocked by the YouTube algorithm in China because China is great. Dim
Fantastic.
sum is wonderful.
I had lo mein on
Burko,
Wednesday.
Yes.
Matt, what are you going to play? What are you worried about continuing to play? And
So-
this is where you answer. I'm not because
Yeah. All right. So most of the stuff is just going to be backwards compatible, right? Going forward,
Yeah.
especially for me because I'm switching over to Microsoft's platform, right? I'm going Xbox this gen,
World's most powerful console.
world's most powerful console. But
Allegedly.
the one
Allegedly.
thing that I am playing
Got more flops.
is multiplayer in Halo 5, because I feel like
You need to get your KD ratio up, mate. 5.4 ain't good enough.
No, I did pretty good last couple of matches, but so I'm doing ranked in Halo 5 multiplayer, just because I feel like that's the one thing that's probably going to disappear, or at least most players are going to transition to Infinite. Despite the press that it's getting, it's one of those games that's got a core audience, and people are going to play that when it comes out, and they're going to transition to that multiplayer. So that's sort of the one thing that I've been playing recently.
Now, if the multiplayer is not ready to go at launch.
I think it will be now.
I think it will be.
It's not.
If they're delaying the whole thing.
But I think it will be now.
If they delay it to next fall, I believe it. If it's sooner than that, I don't believe it. I believe they'll roll it out later and say, hey, we're going to release the campaign stuff, because the campaign stuff is multiplayer, and then they'll release actual deathmatch and stuff like that later.
I'll have to wait and see.
Yeah.
What I say is, I was playing Squadrons with Matt last week or a few days ago, whenever it was. It was good fun.
Yeah,
I enjoyed it. And I'll probably be taking that to my PlayStation 5 and playing it crossplay as well. So it's all very. I think I'm less worried about this generation than I was previously, because everything, if I haven't played it, I'll play it on next gen, and if I haven't started it, I'm going to wait, because in case of the save files, might not be an issue. But
see, I don't understand
I'm not gonna
people's
worry
worriedness between generations. I've never been worried about switching between a generation, and I don't know why there's been such a bloody issue about it.
I think it's
this
mainly
year.
because previously people would have had a game they might have bought that may not be coming out on the next gen, and they're thinking they're going to sell their console, whatever they're going to do, and if they just wasted that purchase.
Yeah.
So I think that maybe that's why it was like a rush to get it finished before they moved on. Whereas I think now, with backwards compatibility and the fact that you can play 4,000 games on PlayStation 5, you don't need to worry about it.
Yeah.
I just wanted to say that
mostly it was
Simon
a
Zebo just
time.
scored a fabulous try for Racing 92.
Really? I'm gutted my BT. I cancelled my BT prescription because they pissed me off.
It's on Channel
And I'm
4, mate.
gutted.
It's on Channel 4 live.
No. Is it? Why haven't
Yeah.
I been watching it? Oh, fuck, I should have asked you.
And on
I
that
think it
note, as our friends across the pond start watching some rugby and drinking heavily,
Yeah.
we'll end the episode there.
All right, I'm going to go and carry on watching the rugby then. I didn't realize I could have had it above me on my fucking screen. Bollocks.
And on that note, bollocks. Today's episode has been brought to you by the word bollocks and the number 60. Next week, we'll go to the number 70.
Oh, God. But no, yeah, Mikey, if you're about, we'll jump onto some ghosts either later this evening or tomorrow.
Yeah, I won't
Yeah,
be on.